This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 558 for the week of Sunday, February 24th, 2019. My name is Zach.
And my name is Ed.
My name is Steve.
And my name is Alex.
And on today's show, very special guest, translator for One Piece in Shonen Jump and Manga Plus. We have Stephen Paul with us. How's it going, Stephen?
Yo, doing good.
And we also have YouTube sensation. He is here with us for the first time in a while. Super happy to have him on. He's also a YouTube influencer is what I should be calling you, because he also recently was one of the presenters at the Anime Awards. I think that was last weekend.
That was last weekend, yeah.
Yeah, we have Roger Space. He's back with us. How's it going, Roger?
It's going good. Thanks for having me. This should be a fun one. I literally just finished reading the chapter before the episode, so I'm good to go.
That's what we all do now. People want live reactions from us. Now that it's
That's
out,
it. You're getting the live
You're
reaction
getting it,
now.
Basically. You're getting like the second read through.
Yeah.
Except for me.
Except for Steven, who has read it 5,000 times. So on today's show, we have lots of fun stuff for you. We have the manga recap for chapter 934. Let me try this. Hyogoro, the flower. Good, Stephen? Nice. I always need Stephen's approval for anything in Japanese, which has been a lot lately. Let's go through a little bit of news first. So you guys ready?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is the news segment. Let's start chronologically here. First, the One Piece Volume 92 cover. We talked about it a little last week, but the covers were preliminary. They changed. What do you guys think of the final cover?
Was there much of a difference?
There's not really much. It's just more polished, I guess.
I think the colors were slightly different, right? I think there was
more
of a magenta.
Care, right? It's like this teal green now.
I'm colorblind, so I'm going to take your
what was it on the rough draft?
It was teal, and Otiko's was pink. It just has it's got the shading and a little more polish to it. It's very, very similar to the rough that we saw, and I think it might be he might just be going digital from now on with these.
You think this looks digital to you?
It's hard for me to tell, but like given the progress video,
Sam
like,
put up actually a pretty good thread on Twitter about it, where it doesn't look digital, but it must be. So, yeah.
When you have the money for it, you can make digital, look not digital, I guess. What do you think of Kaido the blue?
Just artistic talent.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. What do you think of Kaido the blue dragon, though?
Looks great.
I love him. Yeah.
I think it's super funny going on Twitter and everybody's like, how come he's not red? He looks so much less threatening.
Actually,
he's a fucking dragon.
You mention it.
Yeah, right.
One Piece Kun, the Mania, mentions that his tattoo is actually there because it's that reddish color, I guess. Still on that part of his body. That's a really interesting find.
Nice.
A little bit more news. We have Stampede. We have a new trailer. That's the new movie. It's coming out this August in Japan and God willing here. What did you guys think of that trailer?
Well, looks like a One Piece movie. I am excited to see characters who have never been in a proper One Piece movie to be in it.
And Smoker's dressed like a pirate. Buggy is dressed ridiculously.
It's cool that Buggy's in it for sure.
It's interesting that they're going with like involving Roger in the story. That's interesting.
No, I think that's I remember. I think Oda said something to the effect of like, I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't an anniversary movie.
He said, I wouldn't let them make a movie like this if it didn't have 20th anniversary in the title. I mean, of course it's got to be a good time.
Did he also say, like, are you guys trying to end One Piece or something like that? So
he did.
I feel like whatever the premise for the movie is, it's probably something pretty wild.
Well, wasn't it something like we find out Roger's treasure or something like that? But That's the whole. That's the all of One Piece. That's what this.
I was
all
going to
about.
say, it can't be that. Yeah. Maybe that's like the way they're trying to sell it, but there's no way that's going to be
definitely just the way they're trying to sell it.
I feel really, really leery about like the idea of like major sort of in-universe like canon, canon in quotes, but like that sort of stuff getting revealed in a manga source. Just
sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
And it's going to be weird, though. I mean, we had Strong World, which is all about Shiki, and he was mentioned previously in the manga. And I guess technically they mentioned that Roger has a crew in the manga, but we never heard of this Bullet guy before. So I am wondering if, like, when we do eventually get a flashback, if Bullet will be there in the flashback with the Roger pirates, or if they're just going to pretend he doesn't exist after the movie.
I have a feeling it's the latter, but
it might be.
Yeah,
he's the rock star of the Roger Pirates.
Right.
They could throw him in the background, like
I think. I think it's going to be a whole Shiki approach where, like, oh yeah, like this character totally exists in the canon. You're never going to see him in the canon, but
he exists there. Yeah.
I mean, Shiki was a weird situation though. He was kind of there. There's one other piece of news, unless anyone has Stampede stuff. Yeah,
the crew looks great in their designs. I really like Nami's outfit. It definitely beats the Spring Break in Jamaica one that she had on.
Strong
World. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, they all have great costumes all across the board. I'm super looking forward to seeing what else the movie has to offer. Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't much in the way of finished animation. Yeah,
sure.
I mean we're ways out still.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really par for the course for all One Piece movies.
I have a feeling One Piece movies are done a few weeks before they actually.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Come on, we have to have this movie in by 5 p.m. Let's go.
That's kind of the only reason I don't think we're going to get a simultaneous release for this one. I think it's going to be along the lines of what happened with Film Gold, which, I mean, I would love if this ended up being a simultaneous worldwide release, but I really don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, it was only a few months, right? It wasn't
like half a year.
Oh, it was half a year?
Yeah, it was a while. Yeah.
But, in retrospect, it feels like it was simultaneous. I don't remember the lag that much because I didn't see it in Japan. Okay, so there's one other piece of news. Steven, Manga Plus is now releasing as a new update. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, actually, they had dropped hints about this when they first did the press release or the interview stuff when they were announcing Manga Plus, which of course is Shueisha's like worldwide style version of what Viz started doing a couple months earlier. And that is that they are now offering Spanish translations. I haven't actually looked to see if this is for all of the things or just certain series. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little limited at the current moment, but apparently they do have One Piece covered. So they have I believe, according to what I was reading from some people I follow on Twitter, it reads like a Latin American Mexican style Spanish translation. So I guess you can tell the difference if it was like Spain Spanish or South American like Argentinian Spanish. So
the Catalans are very angry about this translation.
You haven't talked to the translator, Stephen?
No, I have not. It's and from what I saw of the screenshots, it looked like it was done entirely from scratch. Like it wasn't like they translated the English into Spanish. It looked like it was a like totally different style. Like they had the what was it? Like orochi's fruit rather than being like whatever the Spanish word for snake. It was like hebi no mi, which is not what we do in the English version, for example. So I was like, okay, so they have their own, their own thing that they're doing. So that's all I know about that. But obviously that's a pretty huge language to hit for this. So I'm happy to see that they got that up and running.
So what's the third biggest language in the world?
Wouldn't it be Chinese? Actually,
Chinese.
Oh, that's probably the first.
Or probably the first.
Yeah, Mandarin, Cantonese, whichever. Well,
in terms of like international language, maybe French. I would guess. Like just going on colonial countries.
Yeah. Then Dutch Portuguese would probably be up there.
Yeah, Je suis Kaido-sama.
There's something that makes that way less intimidating. All right.
You get the mustache.
That's true.
Yes.
That is true. That's a somewhat French mustache. And before we round out the news, we're going to talk just a little bit of One Piece podcast news. There's no chapter next week, so we're going to be talking about One Piece, the 5th volume of the magazine.
So, unfortunately, this break is coming like the weekend before volume 92 comes out, so we just kind of missed the opportunity to cover that live. But we still haven't done the 5th issue of the magazine, so we'll get to that one.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's do some manga.
Let's do it.
Right.
This is the manga recap for chapter 934, Hyogoro, the Flower. Ed, what's going on the front page here?
Let's see. The first page, we have Usopp talking with a cockatiel perched upon his nose by Noda Skywalker. Yeah,
friend of the show, Noda Skywalker, getting his 5,000th.
It's pretty much exactly as described. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cute little birds.
I say friend of the show, but I mean friend of the Twitter account.
Yeah.
Sort of. I don't want to sound, oh yeah, he's here.
Person
he's friends with the character. The one
he replies to us,
not the person.
Yeah, the character one. Yeah. What do you guys think of what's going on here? Any comments?
Cute,
I have no comments.
Cute one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well drawn.
Those are some good picnic baskets. Ed.
Zippity doodah Usopp.
What's going on the first chapter page?
So in the seas around Wano, you get the big bomb ship. They're in a real bind, Perorin. Of all the things that could have happened, Mama just had to plummet off the top of that waterfall. Hey. The king protecting from the skies. There's no way to get any closer. So we see it's Parasparrow, Genie Weenie, Smoothie, Flampe, a few others.
All your favorites.
And the rest.
Yeah. It's actually a miracle that the ship didn't capsize after they fell. And Flampe says, "Can't we do anything but wait?" And Parasparrow points out that Mama's fever card is still intact, and that means she is alive. Another miracle, if you will. Devil fruit user falling into the sea. I guess the enemy hauled her out of the water. Kaido did. Even if she washed up on the shore instead, it's enemy territory. She'll be caught eventually.
Is this Gillette?
It's Gillette, yeah.
Gillette.
I was going to say, note the cute little the kabuki octopus next to the ship too.
Yep. God, her name was Gillette. She get a lot of conservatives really pissed off with her new
So Montdor lets it slip that while the two of them may have been comrades once, they are now emperors of the sea, foes and rivals. You'd assume he'll take her life. And the Big Bomb Pirates become the Parasparrow Pirates. No. Katakuri's got seniority. Actually, that's
Katakuri's got strength. Parasparrow's got seniority.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Nonsense. Power is all that matters.
I assume Katakuri is recovering back on Whole Cake Island.
Yeah. I think Katakuri being back on Whole Cake makes sense too, considering the news. Yeah, it's all over the place that Big Mom has basically, left the territory, and she's been quote unquote beaten by Luffy. So I'm sure she wanted to leave somebody there to watch over things like Katakuri, Brule, some of the other stronger characters. Because if Blackbeard or one of the other characters wants to go and swoop in and get some devil fruits while they're weak, they need somebody backing them up. So I do feel like Katakuri's back on Whole Cake Island.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
And Smoothie pops in and says, "Don't kill Mama off yet. She will come back alive. Only adult would measure her by average standards."
And Smoothie fans hold out hope that they see more Smoothie doing things. Alex.
Yep. Speaking of Big Mom, or should I say Big Mom, back in Amigas Village in Curry, we are intercepting a transponder phone call between Hitetsu, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hitetsu and Otama. Otama says, yeah, she's a really strong person from overseas, and Hitetsu is Still none too happy. He says, "No, wait. Explain this to me. How does a walk to the beach turn into a deadly trip to deadly udon? Return at once, Otama. You can explain later." And we're back. We're back in Hitetsu's little treehouse, and he says, "Is Lord Momonosuke there? Sir Kinemon entrusted me with your safety, my lord." And Otama says, "Don't you worry about Momo, master. I'm gonna watch over him as a kunoichi." And this is a great panel because we see the baboon and Kumachio and the magic tea kettle. They're all in shock as well.
Tanu kettle.
You call it? Yeah, I was gonna say Tanu kettle.
Nice. We should have
That's cute.
thought that ages ago.
How did we not do that already?
I don't know. So I was going too literal. And Tama is basically wincing in pain because she's really getting it. Hitetsu's really letting her have it. He says, "A kunoichi, laughable. You don't even rise to the level of a novice. Come back at once, Otama." And Okiku chimes in saying, "Oh, this one is with them now, and the journey has already begun. So please let the others know." And he doesn't care that Okiku is with them. He wants them to come back at once, and he clicks off the snail.
No, I think she hangs up on him, or
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess she would
That's-
hang up on him. That would make more sense. Yes.
I love too that she's like holding it out at arm's length, and Okiku's just talking into it in that in the middle panel.
She's like
Head bowed.
Yeah, she is.
looks like a piece of Pocky or something. Or what are those? The Italian?
sticks?
No, the Italian.
Pirouette?
Oh, a cannoli?
Yeah. No, pirouette.
No, the pirouette. The thing
yeah.
with coffee.
Yeah, those. Yeah,
Cannoli.
cannoli.
You know, that's how I take my coffee, with a big cannoli in it. Extra sugar, please.
That's how I speak to people, through a cannoli.
Yeah, I really like Otama's face in that panel too, because like I think we've all been there. Our parents really reading us the riot act. Unless you're a goody fucking two shoes, in which case pat yourself on the back, I guess.
But this is almost like
firing shots on my first episode back in like 2 years, dude. Nice.
This is
that
like
wasn't necessarily aimed at you, Roger.
It's like a Harry and the Hendersons thing almost. You're so weak. Come back here, because it's the opposite of a Harry and the Hendersons actually. Go ahead.
So now
We're all gonna laugh at you.
Mom, who is? In the wasteland of Curry. So here is Olin. She says, "You called me Big Mom earlier. Have we met somewhere?" Nope. Haha, forget anything I said about Big Mom. And she's like, "Oh, okay. I like this Sharky Gator. He's a nice, good boy." And they say, "Only because you socked him twice. Yikes." So I guess Olin is truly back to her childhood self, taming animals by trying to pet them, or almost killing them.
Mice and men.
Yes, that's right. Return of Lenny, I guess, at that point.
Oh God. Charlotte Len.
Yeah. Charlotte Len. So with a mama, they're all poor and didn't see me off with any packed lunches, but I like the people of Okabore Town. They were nice. And everybody's riding the gigantic Sharky Gator, Sharkodile, I guess, whatever they're actually called. Momo's practicing his kendo technique. And Olin continues saying, "Especially to someone that no one knows, even me." And Chopper notices something that we pointed out last chapter, that talking head of hers hasn't said a word. I wonder if he's got memory loss too. Way to go, Oda, for addressing that bit. And she says, with drool coming out the side of her lips, "I hope we get to udon soon. I'm really hungry," as she eyes the Straw Hat's emergency rations. And Chopper is freaking out, says, "Don't drool at me when you look at me like that. Gah."
Yeah, you didn't mention that Olin got her hair did. She looks nice.
Yeah, big hairstyle.
Yeah, she truly looks like a pirate now.
Yeah, she does with the buns.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Also, I do want to point out. So dude, kind of touched on it, but there's a subtle bit of of humor here with where she calls him the Sharky Gator, because the original term for that was Sharkodile. And so in the Japanese, Big Mom like confuses the two, which is hard to pick up on because like it wasn't really put up front and center when we first saw this type of creature before. But so the Japanese term was wani-zame, which wani means crocodile, and same or zame when you compound them is shark. So sharkodile. But what she calls it instead of wani-zame is wani-game. And that, in other words, she's calling it instead of a same, she's calling it a kame, which is the word for turtle. So I messed around with it, and I couldn't really come up with a way to like make the joke work that made sense. So I kind of went with the like crocodile alligator switch instead. So it's like she doesn't really remember what the name was, but she's kind of close. She's in the neighborhood. So she calls him Sharky Gator. But on the next page, now we get a rough map of Wano because there's a long trip to Udon, and we finally get a full glimpse of kind of what we're dealing with here in this arc. It's not a ton more that we haven't seen already, which is probably for the best. But we can see on the west coast we have Kuri, where Bakura and the Yamagasa village is, and the Yokobori town. Udon is more to the south, south of the flower capital. Kibi, which we saw, I forget. I know it was mentioned before at some point. I think maybe that was where the ruins of the castle were, or something like that.
I don't remember.
And yeah, Otamiyama is in Kuri, on the left side there. Yeah, and then there's also Ringo, which is the northern graveyard, and Hakumai, which is the area where the Habu port, which is where we know the uprising is supposed to take place. That was part of the that image that they drew up to recruit people. And then we have this cute little Onigashima at the bottom. And these new names like Ringo and Hakumai, they do fit into the naming pattern where Oda has named all these regions after types of food, but he uses different kanji so that it's not literally just saying like Ringo. Ringo is apple, but he uses different kanji, so it's a little bit of a layered thing. And Hakumai means white rice, although I think he wrote it with white dance, I think. So there we go. These are all of the regions of Wano, and they are all separated by large rivers, which you can see on the map there, and as well as having their own distinct climate. So they've got this big river to cross to get into Udon, and Big Mom's Olin's thoughts are, sounds far, as she stares at Chopper again and draws the same reaction from him. Yeah, we're gonna have to get Big Mom some food before too long. And meanwhile, Momonosuke is doing his little Ocarina of Time, swinging with the sword. And Otama is remarking on this as he says, "I cannot relax now. I'm the central figure in this fight." And then he does this weird little call where he swings his sword. He actually hits the Sharkodile, and he goes snatch, and he gets glared at by their mount there, and this draws Okiku's attention, where she's like, "Wait, where did you learn that?" And he says that this is a shout used by foreign swordsmen. Zorojuro taught me how to use it. He said it is a charm to bolster one's courage when it is in short supply. And we get a Zoro with some JoJo's go 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 sound effects. And Okiku says, "No, you are. This one forbids you to use it," and he doesn't understand why. But she explains that, it might be just a coincidence, but there is a similar practice among the older sayings of Kuri, and it is not the sort of call meant for you to use, Lord Momonosuke. And she won't tell him why. She just says, that's just the way it is. And this is kind of confusing, to be fair. It sort of sounds like he says the word snatch, like the English word snatch, which I think was what we were originally going to go with. But it really is kind of coming out of nowhere, because as far as I can tell, I don't think Zoro has ever, like, there's no precedence for Zoro using that term as like, oh, he's teaching Momo his, like his catchphrase thing that he does before he fights or anything like that.
Yeah, remember Zoro's famous catchphrase, snatch?
Right.
All the time.
So yeah, I don't know.
Sure is snatch here on this new island we're on. Snatch, snatch, snatch.
Pretty sure he screamed it when he beat Kaku back in Water 7 and he's lobby. I'm pretty sure.
Paulie wanted me to give you this message. Snatch, you're snatched.
Stop saying snatched.
Yeah. So we'll find out. Obviously, I think the story angle that we're getting here is that for some reason Zoro knows this word that is also apparently a saying in Kuti. The hunch that I have is that maybe this is like something that in his childhood he learned from I forget if it's is it Koshiro or is it Kojiro, his dojo teacher.
It's Koshiro.
Koshiro.
Yeah,
Koshiro. That could be a connection. I don't know. I also found out, I did some a little research. These probably have nothing to do with anything, but I did find them interesting that snatch is obviously it can be a derogatory term for the female genitalia. It's also interesting that Kuti is also a slang term for a specific part of the female genitalia that she is telling him not to use. So I don't know. That was a little weird. Also, this is true. I looked this up. I confirmed this. Kazuya Nakai, Zoro's voice actor, was the dub for Jason Statham's character in Guy Ritchie film Snatch. So
what the heck?
This is why we have Steve here.
What the heck? Okay.
So is this just Zoro's catchphrase because he just brags on the crew? He's like, hey, I was in this famous movie called Snatch.
Yeah.
Snatch, snatch, snatch. And like, God, will you stop saying snatch already?
Is that a famous movie? I have never heard of it.
You never heard of it?
No.
Guy Ritchie. It's got Brad Pitt talking with a stupid accent.
Wait,
yeah, it's like 2000.
Zach, you're not being facetious, are you?
No.
Holy shit! What?
Is that surprising?
I haven't seen it either.
You've never heard of Snatch?
Zach hasn't really seen movies.
That's insane, though. Everybody's fucking seen Snatch, or at least heard of it. Holy shit! Sorry, Zach. I didn't mean to do this on the air, but
I'm gonna leave.
God.
You guys could do the podcast on your own.
Hey, everybody. Zach hasn't heard of Snatch.
We're going to watch the movie right now.
You guys just do like a Patreon exclusive, like live reaction to the movie. Like have a movie night.
Oh, I am okay.
Why don't you watch it so then we could call you Snatch Logan?
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you just took it there.
That's when you end a bit. That's it. I mean, we gotta get.
I think we should have ended it before that.
Everybody.
Yeah, perfect. Now we end. Steve, go ahead. Unless we had more on that page, I forget now. No, I think we're done.
Steven, did we derail that?
Ran it into the ground. Let's go.
Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, so we go to a different part in Wano. Alex, you want to take it from here?
Oh, right, Ringo. It took me a hot second. Welcome to Ringo. That's where I'm from. The Northern Graveyard. Sort of like Northern England. Anyway, take it away, Steve. So Topham Hatt was here to tell us that the town was quite an uproar. I don't know. I have to go now.
I thought we left him in the Mirror Land.
I'm back, bitch.
Ringo has to go back to his home planet.
So we're in the Northern Graveyard in Ringo. Snow covered. We see a bunch of graves, and we even see some like fresh food out. Like at least it could have been fresh. Some apples, some onigiri, all covered in snow. As we hear discussion inside a building. I'll tell you, the town was in quite an uproar. That was a frightening scene. This is probably Nami here, who collapses to the ground. He says, like, who goes around slashing pretty women like that? I mean, really? Who kills a woman? Samurai are pretty scary, and Oh God, who's this guy again? No, not
Yeah,
Conjuro.
it's
Is it
Conjuro. It is
Conjuro.
Conjuro. I said Conjuro because I'm getting.
How could you forget my
all these-
favorites of the samurais? Come on,
You've
Steve.
hit
Your
30 and your brain is
favorites?
starting to go.
Yeah. Conjuro says like Kyoshiro is someone I'm not quite familiar with. 20 years ago, the Yakuza boss was someone named Hyogoro the Flower. And
Chapter
Brooke says,
title.
Catchy
"What's your
name.
name?" And Robin, who I guess in Stress Rosa, she'll be like your honorary mother figure. She says like, I hope it was the right choice to leave Tokyo at the pleasure hall. I'm worried for her. She did incur the Shogun's wrath after all. And Brooke says, or Bonkichi, he says, but you really think he'd go running around after a mere child? Yes, I believe so, but I'm not a character. But Nami says, hey, why don't we go check on her and then like just forget about the plot of the story and go to a bathhouse? I'm exhausted. And Shinobu says like, yeah, well, we should go in disguise because all the bads and the drinking water are all under Orochi's control. Every aspect of life from the bottom up is under his rule in the flower capital. And Robin's like, yeah, sure. Screw protocol. Let's take a break. But Robin lets out a sigh and she says, I feel miserable. The only information I could glean was Orochi's waking time of the day of the big battle. The contents of the offerings of the Shogun's procession will take to Onigashima, the feast time, Kaido's favorite food, his crew's hierarchy, the number of their men and weapons. And Kanjuro says, that's good. That's plenty. You did good. But Robin is like...
That's a good gag
super,
right there.
Yeah, I guess Robin now is like super spy, so she knows what she's capable of. So she's like, oh man, I only revealed like 4 hidden secrets. Ugh.
She's been a secret agent all her life. That's what she does.
I was
Pretty
saying
much.
this though. I just recorded my live reaction before we did this episode, and the second she mentioned Kaido's favorite food, I got extraordinarily concerned because I swear to God, if this story arc ends with Sanji making food for Kaido, and then that's how they end up beating Kaido, I'm not going to be happy.
I doubt it.
It's the
she
1-2
just-
switch.
She just took a peek
It'd be-
at Kaido's Viva card.
It'd be funny if it turns out Kaido loves wedding cake.
right, exactly. Oh my God, man.
And then Sanji cooks up a big wedding cake for Kaido, and then
No, but
Big
Sanji,
Mom
remember-
sees the
you gotta
wedding
remember,
cake.
And then they
Sanji
get
has a
married
soba
for
stand.
real?
Kaido's favorite food is going to be soba, and Sanji's going to make him soba, and he's going to calm down. And then right when he calms down, Big Mom is going to get her memory back, and they're going to work with Kaido to take down Big Mom. Look at that.
Oh my God. So is every arc just going to end with Sanji baking something?
Hey, I wouldn't complain.
Wait, is the end of One Piece just going to be... Is the One Piece just Sanji's cooking this entire
No, the
time?
One Piece
No,
is
it's
going to
just-
be a
it's
paper.
a nice slice of cake.
or a cake.
One
a cake
piece
with
of
the
cake.
words. Yeah, the words were written on the cake are just Sanji is cool. That's it. That's the One Piece.
A nice piece of cake is waiting for you.
You see,
So weird. That was my birthday cake too. It's the exact same in red gel icing writing.
wow.
It's
See,
a Sonic party, right?
Steve, that's what, when they say the One Piece was inside you the entire time, that's what they meant.
Yeah, it was in my belly.
That's it.
Until you pooped it the next day. Wait, where were we?
Forever.
Yeah.
We cut to an exterior shot of the wherever they're squatting, and this might be Robin. No, this is Bonkichi saying, "Oh, speaking of which, Hirobi, I found a poneglyph. It wasn't one of the red ones." And probably Robin saying, "Oh, you did?" Or this could be Nami. It doesn't matter. But Onami says, "Got good luck with stones, Bonkichi." But Bonkichi says, "But I was unable to bring a copy of the text back. You know, I couldn't pull that cool stuff that I did in Whole Cake Island." He found it while he was in soul form. So he was behind a very firm door in an underground chamber. Very odd room, surrounded by these carved wooden dolls, and Shinobi knows exactly what Bonkichi's talking about. She refers to them as Kokeshi dolls.
Did we
Orobi,
mention these before, Stephen?
They're like
Yeah,
they're like cylinders with the spheres on top.
Hitetsu is a like a
Oh.
Bishoujo Kokeshi doll collector.
Right, that's what it is.
Mhm.
Go ahead,
Gotcha.
Steve.
I'll see you at KokeshiCon 2019.
Arobi says, then I suppose the road poneglyph must be in Onigashima. Brooke says, yo ho ho. Anyway, off to see. It's like, see about that bath. And they're like, no, you can't come. Because you'll stand out.
Of all the people, you stand out.
Yeah, not because you're a raging pervert, but just because you're a skeleton. You're lucky you're a skeleton.
He's like the Westerner who gets he can't go in the bath because of his tattoos. They're racist against skeletons. That's what it is.
We don't serve your kind here. Yeah.
Roger.
Dead people.
So that brings us then to the flower capital, where it's just been proclaimed that Lady Komurasaki is dead, and all the people are freaking out, screaming, going, the top idol of Wado, she's dead. Boss Kyoshiro cut her down. I'm never going to forgive him for this. Her beauty was so blinding, I never even got to look at her face. And meanwhile, some other people are talking about some of the other goings-on from the banquet a couple chapters ago, mentioning, did you hear about the yokai in the castle? And the thunderclap got me right out of bed. And that takes us to Ibisu Town, where Sanji and Law and Frankie and Usopp are all hanging out. And Sanji just cannot stop crying about Komuasagi, is how he says it, because he's crying like crazy, and he's got snot dripping down his nose.
What a face.
It's the same face, except he doesn't have the chopsticks in his nose.
Yeah, that's actually
from Thriller
I
Bark.
see what you're talking about. Yeah. And they're saying, come on, why are you crying, man? You only caught a glimpse of her one time. And he mentions the death of a beautiful woman is a loss for the entire world, you idiots. And Law just says very plainly, the funeral's here tomorrow, but Sanji still is enraged, saying, where's your tact? Where's your delicacy? And the rest of the men just continue on with the discussion, saying, Orobi's group should have reached there when it happened. Are they okay? And Usopp mentions he's worried too. And he brings up the little snails, the little Wano snail, the Wano Denden Mushi, which is called a smail, a smart snail, which I think is very cute.
Like a smartphone.
Exactly. Smartphone.
What do you think the smart snail could do? What other crazy things?
It can't make the cool faces that the other ones do. So that sucks.
Hey, but you could put it in your coffee and it probably tastes good. So there you go.
Well, they could probably, maybe it could FaceTime and they could put little doggy snouts on
I was thinking
face.
I was thinking of biscotti. I think. No, that's not what it is. No, that's
cylindrical.
Those aren't cylindrical. I think you were right, actually. Now
Those
are.
No, leave the biscotti. Take the cannolis.
Yeah.
What do you do with the gun then? Oh shit! Got the gun.
So Sanji continues on talking about the women's bath, and he's saying, are there any articles about Udon, where Luffy is? And Frankie, again, continues saying he's probably shaking it off by now. He'll be ready to rage. And Usopp says he can't wait to see him again. And Law mentions that there's nothing in there about Luffy, but there's something in there about Kid. And Sanji just continues on with the women's bath. And Law mentions that Hawkins is here, and that Hawkins and Kid are obviously in the same alliance. So it makes sense that Kid would be here too. But they're clearly not in the same position, because according to this, Kid has broken out of jail. And even though there's all this other stuff going on, Sanji is still focused on the bathhouse, saying, by the way, do you know where I could find a bathhouse? And everybody else is just saying, would you please focus on what is important, Sanji? Please. All right, you're going to need to make a wedding cake that says Sanji's cool at the end of this for Kaido. Please, focus. We need your full attention.
I love that he's focusing on the 3-cylinder the entire time, because that is the invisibility that he has been thinking about this entire time.
He's a pervert.
His dream could finally come true. His terrible criminal dream.
I think.
Also, I got to say, I wasn't on when you guys did the episode, but man, oh man, am I glad that Absalom is dead. 3 cheers to Absalom.
Oh my God!
Cheers!
Yeah.
Cheers!
Yeah, we're all on board with that. If that indeed is the case.
It's funny. Brian Weissel, the creator of Hot Street Season 2, airing now on Adult Swim. He's been he's been watching through One Piece, and he's like, "Yo, fuck Absalom," and I'm like, "I want to tell you, but you're just gonna have to wait. Just gonna have to wait 400 episodes, and you'll be very happy."
I was watching it.
Yeah,
Alex, were you saying something?
Oh yeah, I was going to say that if Sanji actually does end up going to a bathhouse, I think a Invisible Man from Dragon Ball is going to be pulled, where he'll make himself known by his own nose blood.
Yeah, that's probably
Good call. That's a good call.
No,
I kept seeing like his women's bathing, and it just sounds like a swear word in like some fantasy story or something. Like, can you imagine like Hagrid going like "women's bath, Harry" or something like that?
Oh my god.
Is he sort of like muttering it to himself, like?
Yeah. I think
Harry
so.
Potter just transformed for me a little bit there.
You're a pervert, Harry.
You're a pervert, Harry.
I'm not writing that one down.
No. Harry pervert. That's more.
We
You want
already
to go with like another Harry Potter?
we already did Hippo Potter in the Chamber of Torture. What was that?
Chamber of
Slaughter.
Slaughter. Chamber of Slaughter. That was probably one of my favorite episode titles we've done in a while. Anyway,
Speaking of gifters,
we go to the excavation labor camp in the south here in Udon, deadly Udon. And we see that, or we hear, yes, indeed, Eustace Kid, the prisoner, has escaped. And someone here is trying to interrogate and get the prisoners to tell him, where is he? If you know, please come forward. And here we are introduced to the most notable character in the entire Wano arc, Patu. It is Alpaca Man, the holder of the alpaca smile fruit. He is disturbing in every way you could
Remember,
imagine.
we met this guy at your wedding.
That is a joke only you guys get.
Which one was he? Or just a couple?
The one that Brian was hanging out with.
It was the one with the six-pack.
He was the smelly one.
Six-packa.
Six-pack. Six-pack of abs.
Break it down.
So, so let's just go through Alpaca Man here for a couple minutes. He is a man with an alpaca head who spits at people. He has a six-pack ab thing going on with like some weird...
A diaper.
Yeah, like a pouch. He has a pouch in the front and then
He's
he's
part of
studded...
X-Force.
He has a studded underwear, and one of his legs is panted and the other one isn't. And despite being an alpaca, he is relatively hairless everywhere except from the neck up.
He's dressed like a Final Fantasy character.
It's bizarre. It's completely bizarre. Anyway,
You could say about Alpaca Man, he's the Emperor's new Stooge.
Oh my god.
Nice. That was good.
Also, is Alpaca Man related to Pac-Man? No? Okay. He says, it was a real...
Please, Alpaca Man is my father. What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty Alpaca Man.
Okay. Should I write all these down? Because I forgot half of them. So Alpaca Man says, real shoddy escape, if you ask me. Didn't even take his sea prism stones off, huh? Yeah. Anyway, he'll get caught soon, and then he's really in for it. Yeah, the death penalty for sure. What an LP brain. Good one, Steven.
Yeah.
Wow.
You didn't
because he called him a paca instead of a baka.
Oh my god.
That's amazing. And you know every anime fan knows Baka. You could have probably done that
Right.
too.
He's a weeb.
You know, Alpaca Man is a weeb. That's just
Hey guys, Manny Paca Al.
Get out.
No, I'm writing that one down.
Does Alpaca Man say, but it still comes out 2 days later?
What?
Look into it. I'm not going to elaborate anymore on that reference.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, as he's patooing and he's just spitting, it's going everywhere as he's talking, and it probably sounds like that.
He has to sound like Sylvester.
Yeah. And Luffy's just like, ew, that's gross. Which I never thought I'd hear Luffy say that saying. So you know that this is legitimately disgusting. As he's like, what are you talking a pack to me? He have refresher and just the hacks of spit are flying at Luffy's face. He's saying, one act of defiance and your arms get cut off. 2 acts of defiance gets your legs cut off. I'm sure my pop filter is not doing justice here. I apologize. Um,
Well, I'm surprised you didn't try singing this.
Yeah.
one
some
act
melody.
of defiance gets your arms cut off. That's how it
I'm just
goes.
imagining like the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland on the very merry birthday.
Yeah. Two accidents. Get your legs cut off. What a fun song.
What a fun little song! I love. Alpaca
What-
Man is filled with fun spirit and disturbing
ditty.
imagery.
Yeah, it's right up there with clean up, everybody do your share.
That's right.
Oh yeah, whenever I have kids, I'm gonna sing to them. One act of defiance gets your arms cut off.
Well, now we know what kind of parent you're going to be.
Yeah, can I like make a call now to social services?
I don't think that's how that works. Anyway, Luffy is like, Luffy is still disgusted, reeling from all the spit being thrown at his face. Have I mentioned that already? And meanwhile, in the background, people are yelling, "No, don't do it! He's gonna die!" And in the foreground, we have some new gifters who don't have names, but we'll call them by how the rest of these guys have been called. Spider-Man.
That's Scorpion.
No.
Scorpion Man.
Scorpion. Yep.
I like
Plus,
it.
same comic.
That's true.
Scorpions have 8 legs also? Because
They have
this
6 legs.
this guy has 8 legs.
Wait till you
Yeah,
get to
but
the
only
next page. It's
Only 6 of them touch the ground.
Oh,
And
interesting.
he's got
Okay.
the stinger. Yeah,
1,
you'll
2,
see it.
3, 4,
yeah,
5.
you'll see it in the next page.
Oh, okay. It looked like 8 that I was counting there, but I might be wrong. Anyway,
Legs aren't the important part.
Anyway, he says, "Please stop tormenting poor old Hio. He's just an old man."
I can't believe you're going to talk about the Scorpion dude and just totally pass by.
I was gonna
Elephant
get
Man.
to that. I was gonna get to Elephant Man, who, as we all know, there was a very famous movie about. That one I know. Alex. Anyway, Scorpion Man continues saying, "Look, we don't look kindly on Sheet and Gramps here.
Now, Scorpion, I don't want any trouble.
He ain't hurt nobody.
He ain't hurt
Not
nobody,
Skeeter Man.
Scorpion Man." And Elephant Man is like, and by the way, talking out of the elephant from the middle of his chest. We don't see his actual face here. Is that?
That's perfect. I hope that we never see his face. His
That would be
human face.
super funny, yeah, if you just
Yeah.
see the elephant.
Behind the trunk.
And the elephant's
He's-
like, "That's right. If you can't
Oh,
get,
look at them ears.
if you can't work, give up and starve."
He's basically Miss Bellum with an elephant for a stomach. So.
That's fantastic. That is so
And here's the mayor.
fantastic. I want drawings of all of these, Steve. Anyway.
Shit. I'm only human.
Anyway, the millet dumplings have fallen all over the ground, and my poor precious millet dumplings. Sorry, I should be making fun of them there. And this is Scorpion Man here holding his udon stamps, which are like food stamps, except they're much better with them than anyway. And he says, "So tell me, old man, if you could barely work, how do you have so many meal tickets?" And he's shoving these millet dumplings down his throat, and the Scorpion Man is like, "Huh?" And he stomps on Hio, saying, "Who said you could eat that?" Asks him to spit it out, and says that you don't have the right to eat them. And Hio says, "No, I'm not spitting out a single dumpling. I'm not letting a single dumpling go to waste." Steven.
Yeah. Also, I think we saw these before, but I kind of wanted to point out that I feel like there's a kind of an extra layer of a joke that Oda is doing with the udon tickets here, because you see they're actually written, with the English word udon or written in the alphabet, I should say, and like that kind of sticks out because I don't think we've actually seen any English writing in Wano. Like, he's been pretty good about.
What about
like
the next page?
About not putting yeah, well, okay, Queen is his own story, but I think it was reminding me of when I was in Japan in high school, and I went to as part of the student exchange program, I went to my exchange students' high school for a week or so, and their lunch cafeteria thing was like our process was you would go in before school started, like before first period started, and you would go to the cafeteria window and you would buy like a ticket that you would choose between, like, oh, do you want soba or do you want udon noodles? Like, what do you want for lunch? They would have like 2 or 3 different options. You would buy it. They would give you a ticket, and then you would turn it in when it was lunchtime. That way they knew how much to make, etc. And it was sort of funny because I sort of felt like he maybe did that just to make the like the homophone of udon the place and udon the noodles like a little more I guess not coincidental, but a little more of a joke because it's like they're the meal tickets, but they're not for udon; they're for these dumplings instead. I was reminded of that when I saw these. But back to the manga. On our last set of pages here, he is the Scorpion Man is continuing to demand answers to where Old Man Hyo got these tickets. And the crowd is, they know this is just cruel. It's just sadistic, torturing this old guy. And Old Man Hyo, kind of for the first time, because he's just sort of been like this little helpless figure for the whole time that we've known him. He kind of gets some backbone here, and he says, "I would rather die than tell you, young punk." And he says, "That man has true chivalrous spirit, full of honor, protecting the weak and standing firm against the foolish and mighty. If I don't respond honorably in kind, then the worse I look." Referring, of course, to Luffy, who was the one who gave him all of the tickets. He says, "So go on and kill me. Meeting him took me back to the old days. It's been a long time since Hyogoro the flower felt so fulfilled in belly and spirit." And then he says something that we've heard before. "This is the land of samurai. There were many of them once, and then you came along and killed them all." I'm sure referring explicitly to Scorpion Man. He killed all of the samurai. Yeah, so he is pining for the old days. We see, of course, that this old man is actually the legendary Yakuza boss from 20 years ago, who has been in prison for apparently all the time that Orochi has been in power. And all of a sudden, Luffy bursts into motion. He starts racing towards this guy, and Old Man Hyo is crying. You can actually see his eye looks a little different now. Like I guess he's got goggles on. I always thought those were just like really bugged out eyes, but you can see his actual eye inside the goggle there in this little tiny slice of a panel. He says, "We couldn't beat the might of the foolish," referring, of course, to Orochi. And Luffy is charging in. They're telling him not to interfere because then he'll get put to death. But we see Luffy, and he's like, "Old man," and Hyo is like, "Don't! I can't cry any more tears." As Luffy launches himself into battle, and we do not see the finishing blow. I guess we'll have to wait to find out what happened in the epic battle between Luffy and Scorpion Man.
Yeah, I did not see the scorpion tail is his ponytail.
Yes, yeah. Which is a cool design. But meanwhile, outside of the prison, we see there is a caravan pulling up. It is Queen in what looks to be in a Mortan Joe mobile, just coming up to the fortress, and they're all shouting, "Queen, Queen, Queen!" And he's giving the order to open the gate, and he's wondering, why is it so noisy in there?
Open the gate.
Lead performer Queen has arrived. Yes, it's Rami Malek. He has arrived.
Jesus.
Opening the gate now.
I like the Mad Max thing though, because looking at like that panel where everyone's screaming Queen, if you compare that to like the Fury Road where you had the giant wall of rock and then everyone's going Furiosa.
Right.
Like,
I was thinking it was more like that scene from Pan with "We Will Rock You," and they, or was that Smells Like Teen Spirit? They also did that in the Peter Pan movie.
I will say this:
I have not seen that.
Oh, you mean the newer one?
You haven't seen Pan? No, I don't.
You are.
You don't understand, Zach. Everybody saw Snatch except for you.
Yeah, Zach, I totally saw Snatch. I will continue to not talk about that movie at all because I know so much about it.
Steve, what the? Well, I mean, Steve, I know you're infamous for not seeing famous movies.
Wait,
So
I'm also infamous for not. You didn't see Jaws until last year.
Yeah.
yeah,
Alex.
and
Anyway, thoughts on the chapter, Roger?
I mean, I liked it. I thought it was a great setup chapter, a lot of good information. I liked that Hyoguro was the old man. I think that was neat. That as soon as they mentioned that when I was reading through it the first time, I was like, are they going to answer this the same chapter? So I like that they did. Only thing that kind of bothered me is that when we got to that scene with Sanji and he's talking about the bathhouses and stuff, right before that, obviously Sanji was fighting Page One. So did that entire fight just get off-screened? Like, are we not going to see what happened there? I'm sure there's some reason that Oda's not showing us that fight. If there's like some ability of Sanji's suit that he doesn't want to show off just yet, or something that Page One did. But I was a little bummed the first time I was reading this that entire fight got off screened. But otherwise, I thought it was a good chapter. Lots of really good gags here. I like seeing the map of Wano country. I like Big Mom's new look. I like that the Big Mom pirates are already fighting over who's going to take over, even though she's not dead, clearly, because her Viva card's still intact. So yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Don't fret, Roger. Everything will be answered in episode of Soba Mask.
Right,
Coming next summer.
2023.
I would not be surprised. Yeah, I think you're probably right why they didn't show it. We're probably going to just see more of that later. Yeah.
I thought he did. I thought like there was like the last panel where he does rise up in the air and then like you see the dust cloud rising. I thought that was like intended
the
to
finishing
be
blow.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I have to go back and check. But
Page One's a loser then. That's crazy.
I think we all thought Page One was a loser.
See, I don't know though. If that character was on the level of somebody like X Drake, at least they had the same title, so I had assumed that they would be as strong as one another. So we'll probably pass it for Sanji.
But that tattoo.
Right, well, the Skrillex haircut more than anything.
Yeah,
I mean, he messed it up because he went against Sanji. That's why.
Yeah,
right.
I bet we'll see him again when the real fighting starts.
Yeah, we definitely will see him again. I'm sure. I'm sure it'll be quick and
I don't think it's quite like a snack thing. I think Page One's gonna play like a huge part in the rest of the story. So
Steven,
worry.
Me, yeah, wow, this was a very dense chapter for being 2 pages short. It really felt like he got his space worth out of it. So yeah, it was definitely after the drama of the court, or not the courtroom, but the feast banquet hall scene. This was definitely sort of like a downshift to take us up to the next mountain peak of this arc's dramatic structure. So it wasn't a lot that happened, but we did learn a lot. I felt like the scene with Sanji was definitely like, okay, his stock price is riding high. Let's price in the correction now. Just like completely cut him down to weeping over the pretty lady and fantasizing about the bath. So still Sanji, obviously. I think everything else was interesting stuff to learn. I do agree that I liked that we didn't have to sit around and try to figure out who Hyoguro the Flower, yet another name, was supposed to be, that we figured it out, and that it actually made this kind of random prisoner who we were seeing before actually have a purpose and not just be like the helpless person who needs Luffy's help. So I feel like that's definitely going to make a big difference in the plot moving forward, which is interesting. And I don't know, I think that's about it. I love Big Mom's haircut. That's all I can say about that.
Steve.
As Stephen was saying, I didn't realize this was a short chapter because it is really dense. God, holy crap. There are so many speech bubbles here. I think we're all One Piece fans. We don't notice, but oh boy, man, these pages are cluttered. I mean, this was a good chapter. I don't want to sound so negative, but there's a lot of information to get across here. But yeah, now we know, the ways of the land. That's pretty cool. I'm really enjoying Otama and Momonosuke. Oda really knows how to write good kids. I think we talked about that early on in this arc. I think we were just kind of like slagging on Toei a little bit for all like the movie characters and filler characters we had to endure in the past. But Oda's made these kids really endearing. I kind of like. I couldn't tell you much about Perospero and Whole Cake Island, but at least this arc is kind of giving him some new character traits. If he's the Starscream of the Big Mom pirates, I am all for it. Saying like, Big Mom is dead, I'm the leader. I like that. Alpaca Man, legendary. He's we're gonna be talking about this dude for a long time. Scorpion Man, I assume is his name. It's not really.
We've already forgotten about Batman.
I was gonna say, I don't think we're gonna be talking about Alpaca Man after this. But
Alpaca Man is something special. I mean, Batman did look like Carl.
Did you forget about Gazelle Man?
Did anyone ever like Gazelle Man?
I mean, I didn't have a chance to like him. He's so fast.
I want to see more from Elephant Man. Maybe except his face, his actual face.
Yeah, no, I want to see that.
I mean, what if his face looked like the actual Elephant Man?
I have a lot of questions about Scorpion Man. How many butts does he have? Does he poop?
The real questions.
These are valid questions. Man, I should listen to last week's episode and learn how to write in for an SBS. That's how I'll make it in, guys. Other than that, there was a pretty enjoyable chapter. I mean, I think this manga recap was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk too much, but some good stuff here. Crazy to think that you would think Kid and Luffy would do the whole impel down thing of, let's team up and bust out of this joint, but Kid was just like, see ya. So
can't stand this guy.
Yeah, but I think Luffy's fairly confident. Like Luffy knows, I'm pretty sure Luffy knows he could get out anytime. I think he kind of just really, I think he wants to like help people get their millet dumplings. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not quite.
He's gonna fight Queen now, isn't he?
I also wouldn't be that surprised if Kid and Luffy did work together in some regard. I'm not.
Oh, definitely.
Just because it was off screen to use.
Yeah, it was very
term.
suspicious.
Yeah, it's odd. That's an odd development.
Yeah.
I think maybe prediction here. Stage a big thing. So but then again, Queen's showing up unannounced. So I don't know. I'm not gonna even try.
Alex.
Yeah, great chapter. I really appreciate the chapters that we get like this in Wano where it moves everything along, but we covered a lot of ground. We see exactly what everybody's up to, which is really neat. I missed this earlier, but I like Chopper riding on the Sharkodile's bumps. He's sitting on top of the two lumps that Olin had given him, which is super funny. Nice that we got a map of Wano. I'm sure when we get to it in the anime, we'll be seeing a whole fucking lot of it with little chibi heads. I am loving all the gifters at all times. Elephant Man's great. Mr. Scorpion, or call him Hank, I guess. Also good. What can I say about Alpaca Man that hasn't already been said? I look forward to the flashback where Hyogoro is a much taller, more muscular Yakuza leader.
How did these old people all get so tiny?
I don't know. That's the nature of One Piece. It's like they're strong old people for a really long time, and then like the next year they're 3 feet tall.
That's how age works.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen to Garp too.
Whitebeard was 1 year away from shrinking. He just made it through Marineford. We would have saw after the time skip he'd be this short little guy.
Also a picture I want.
So actually, Steven, I wanted to ask if the 65 on the back of Scorpion Man's shirt was a signifier to anything.
I did not notice that. 65.
What's the Japanese word for scorpion?
Scorpion is sasori.
Okay.
Which that doesn't seem like it matches up. There's probably something there that I'm not picking up on. I'm kind of curious as to what kind of health benefits Scorpion Man offers his employees.
Well,
Essentially.
well, I heard he
Good
loves German
ones.
beer. So one other thing I noted, because I'm actually kind of wondering, like, hey, I wonder what Queen's power is going to be. That Q on the flag looks kind of weird, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like some sort of design or maybe like an animal. I don't know.
Man.
Who the fuck knows?
I'm sticking by the ancient scorpion thing, because if you look at like King had he was like a pterodactyl, and then you had Jack was a mammoth. I really feel like there's all those different specials on those ancient sea scorpions, and the whole thing with Kaido is that on land, sea, and air always been on Kaido, and so you've got like the mammoth controlling the land, you've got the air, you've got the pterodactyl, and now with the sea, obviously it wasn't a creature that just existed in the sea, but it could go underwater. I would think the giant sea scorpion. And considering going back to when we saw Jack attacking Zunisha, he was backed up by scorpion ships, which could have been ships that were from this guy, this scorpion dude, or it could have been that scorpion dude's just an underling for Queen, who has the actual real, because this is clearly a smile fruit. This isn't the real scorpion fruit. So Queen might actually have the real one.
That's interesting.
That's super
I
interesting, yeah.
Well, I do wonder about zoan fruits that are like based on aquatic animals, simply because you can't really.
Oh, we've already seen one because Smiley was an axolotl.
Right, but Smiley also didn't like submerge
Axolotls
itself.
are amphibians though too, right?
Yeah, they're amphibians.
Yeah,
well, technically, but this scorpion didn't live underwater. It was like a land creature that could breathe underwater.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sort of like
Look it up. I forgot the name of it, but look it up. It's cool.
Yeah. I think I talked about this a couple episodes ago also in regards to like Roger, you're a Pokemaniac. The name of the Gyarados from the new from Sun and Moon. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't actually. New Gyarados from Sun and Moon. Like there's Mega Gyarados.
No. It's like the Gyarados equivalent. Like it's the tiny little bug thing that like when it turns level 20, it turns into like this giant monster bug.
Oh, I'm trying to think.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do, but I can't think of the name off the top of my head.
Yeah, but anyway,
bother.
Kind of looks like a giant ancient bug, like a big old bug.
I mean, do you think his morbid obesity might, lend some credence? Maybe he's a giant walrus or something.
Maybe. Hey, there you go. I like
what?
Those are terrifying. What do they call those? The king of the beaches? What the
sea lions?
Sea lion. Yeah, but with the elephant,
like a
seals.
Elephant seals.
Elephant seals.
The super ugly.
Yeah. That's
ugly animals
with the proboscis, dude. That would be awesome, actually.
And it kind of looks like that Q is that like could it be like an elephant-looking trunk coming out of that Q?
I like it.
No, I might be right, but don't like it because it's disgusting and grotesque.
I don't know. I think we have a better chance of it being like any other ancient zone just because of the theme so far. But
it is Oda.
Galiciopod. Oh, that's it. I was looking up the Pokemon in the background.
Yes.
Galiciopod is
kill time.
That's it. Yeah, thank you. Galiciopod.
Yeah. That's the one.
It is Oda, so I'm always ready for some weird curveball that's like ridiculous from the back. That makes no sense and doesn't fit anything. Anyway, Ed.
Yeah, I like Queen's little car that he's driving. You see that? like his little go kart.
And he makes the noise with his mouth.
Yeah, I bet you he does that.
Big cigar.
It's a rascal. It's not even a car. It's like a rascal.
Oh my god, yes. He's the fat guy at the mall in the rascal scooter.
Oh my god.
Smoking a cigar.
Smoking a cigar in the mall. Not supposed to do that. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's great. Alpaca Man is so weird looking. Not thrilled about Sanji getting his invisibility wish, but I guess it was always sort of going this direction. It was kind of unavoidable. You hate to see it.
Surprising.
No, it's not surprising.
What?
Yeah. I like the symmetry with introducing Hyogoro and bringing it back around at the end. It gives the chapter itself sort of, it lets the chapter stand on its own as just part of being part of the whole. Which I like. I like when they do that with chapters sometimes, because sometimes it can feel like just an update and whatever's going on, and it can feel like that sometimes. Yeah. I don't know. You guys have pretty much said everything that I wanted to hear, but I do like the interactions between Otama. That's Otama and Momonosuke, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Otama, yeah. Okiku's I make the same mistake.
Yeah. Big Mom is sort of leading them all over. It's like they can't help but follow her, and she's sort of leading them all over the place, like they couldn't stop her if they tried. And while this sort of leaves the Big Mom pirates rudderless. They really have to find their leader, otherwise they're just going to break down and fighting each other. Yeah. Anyway, what do you got, Zach?
There were a bunch of things on the first page. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, so Ed, please tell me if you mentioned any of these. I do love the symmetry with what we saw when the Straw Hats arrived. Just the landscapes around Wano, I still find super cool. They're very they're what do you call it? They're reminiscent of ukiyo-e paintings. And I just really love all of that. I just noticed the octopus guy in the corner there on the second page.
Yep.
Anyway, we've talked about that a lot earlier on in the arc. That was cool. What's with the guy with the balloons in the middle of that page, by the way? And what are the balloons for? It's just another bizarre Big Mom Pirates thing in the middle of the second.
Oh, well, there's the kids that, what is it, Drage and Dolce?
Well, do you think they're like surveillance balloons or something?
I mean, there's lots of kids. Kids like balloons. That could just be it.
Yeah, I'm probably overanalyzing, but want to mention that. Yeah, definitely seeing the new side of the Big Mom Pirates and Big Mom herself were really cool to see. I'm glad we came back to Hitetsu. And I think the most interesting part of this chapter to me was the stuff that Kiku was talking about with Momonosuke, and specifically how it relates to Zoro. And I'm guessing this is something Zoro taught him during that period when we were in Whole Cake Island. I think that's pretty, reasonable to think.
I mean, he's Momonosuke has definitely been obsessed with training since we got to Wano, so definitely. It seems like that's
a Zoro kind of thing too.
Yeah,
to be fair.
That was one thing in the chapter that didn't sort of hit for me because it's so Japanese language. Like I don't like Snatch. The whole snatch. Like, what are they going for here?
Yeah, it's just a mystery.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the Jewish Bible is the Tanakh, so maybe it's the Sanakh.
Okay.
Real reach there. I like the general conceit of Wano as these islands, each with, representing a different season. I think Greg mentioned on this podcast before, Japan is very proud that they have all 4 seasons. And not just have all 4 seasons, but have them to like the extreme. And to be fair, they do. Their summer, I could attest, is the most summer I've ever experienced. So I'm curious to see a little bit more of these different islands and kind of, I'm assuming this is since they say it, a very simplified map of Wano. I know we've been going on for a while, so I'll go a little bit quicker. Yeah, I mean, Alpaca Man, I've discussed it already. I think the rest you guys have, basically gone through. A lot of that early stuff, there's a kind of interesting chapter. I just had been mentioning how chapters kind of feel self-encompassing. This one feels like a lot of little stories like that we leave with little cliffhangers, and especially since we get off next week. Steven, is that a double issue or is it just...
No, that's Oda is on break.
It's an Oda break. So usually he leaves us with some really huge cliffhangers. This is not one of them, but we get a lot of little ones in this one that we might not get resolved right away, or yeah.
Here's the question.
Yes.
So Luffy is in the midst of another little rebellion here inside the prison, while Queen is just showing up. So it seems like that is a in the cards. That's going to be a showdown that we're going to see. And yet also Big Mom is going towards Udon with Chopper, as in an attempt to break Luffy out of prison, presumably. So what do you think is happening? Do you think that this is going to be like
Queen's going to fight Big Mom?
Yeah. Is it gonna
definitely.
be that?
Yeah.
Like, is Luffy going to be able to hold his own against Queen, or is he going to get beaten because he's still got the cuffs on, and then Big Mom is the wild card that kind of breaks them out, or what? Because
I think you just hit the nail on the head. I think it's going to be something that we see that he still has the cuffs on. So he's going to beat the Scorpion fodder guy, I'm sure. And then Queen is going to go in. Queen's going to be surprised when they start fighting at, how well Luffy is fighting even without his powers. And then right where it seems like Queen's about to kill Luffy, Big Mom shows up and just like completely, I forgot what the term King of Lightning used in his review, but baby shakes basically Queen to completely obliterate her, or him, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you told me a couple months ago that Big Mom is going to come in here potentially and break Luffy out of prison, I'd be like, what drug are you currently on?
Yeah.
And please stay away from it. So this is, I like how this has been going. I have no freaking idea what's happening next. I could
That's what makes the best One Piece, though, I feel, is whenever we don't know the way the story's going, that's always when it's the most enjoyable.
Agreed. So, considering this was a short chapter, we spent longer than usual talking about it.
Yeah.
So let's go on to the next segment.
Right.
This is the piece together segment. Sorry, I had something in my mouth. This is the piece together segment. We take your questions, comments, and theories. Let's start, Ed, with
This piece.
Yeah, we start in Discord. Patreon subscribers sent in these questions. Grim Pyro says, with the new teaser for Stampede out, some new characters are joining the fray, though still no signs of Fish Uncle. I believe he means Jinbei. Not yet, at least. Seeing as Buggy and Law might get some screen time together, it begs the question, who would win in a fight? Is Buggy law-proof? Also, where the hell is that six-legged creep in the chapter find pants? Both good questions. Piccolo, I assume, comes in and fires his pants beam at him. Do you guys have any answers for Buggy versus Law? Who would win?
Buggy's
Law,
actually
for
very
sure.
weak.
Yeah, Law definitely. That's not even a question.
Well,
Buggy.
is Buggy law-proof?
Because he could split himself apart?
Yeah.
Not necessarily, because it only works when his feet are on the ground, right?
Yeah, and
It's
also
Buggy's
Law
whole thing.
controls everything in that bubble, the room.
Yeah, in the
Really?
room.
Yeah.
You can just literally lift his feet up and then it's done.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Buggy
I mean,
just
no,
was
I
gonna
mean,
say-
Buggy can fly as long as his feet are on the ground. His powers still work.
Hmm.
Yeah, like as
Yeah.
long as his feet are on the ground, he can fly within like a certain radius.
Mm-hmm.
Buggy just has to feed Law bread to counter his gluten allergy.
Perfect.
There you go. There you go.
That's the most Buggy way out of that, too. Straw Hat
Law,
Pirate...
Law will win because he'll just conserve his strength for 80 minutes of the movie, and at the end,
Wait,
do
it's
it
a movie?
across the entire span of the island, just the biggest room in the world, and there you go.
Straw Hat Pirate 9 says, this chapter was great. I love seeing each of what the Straw Hats are up to, minus Zoro. I loved Big Mom's new hairstyle, and I really want to see Jill cosplay that. Didn't she mention that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she said so that you wanted to do that.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see that soon. We also got some emails, Ed.
Email.
There you go. First email is titled Dinosaur. Dinosaurs, sorry. This from Tig Sphinx, who says, sorry he's sending it late. He's fine. But since so many of you like dinosaurs, did we mention that we all like dinosaurs? Or is that just assumed? Anyway, we might
Is it kind of like does that fall under like the boys and robots rule
Yeah.
in like One Piece that in the real world like every boy likes dinosaurs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's true. A lot of girls like dinosaurs too, I think. They're interesting.
A lot of girls like giant robots too. I don't think we should.
Dinosaurs.
Anyway, he said we might have more dinosaur devil fruits in this arc, and that he would like to recommend a book. Wow. The paleontology graduate students and professors recommended The Bone Wars, Clash of the Dinosaur Hunters, a nonfiction book over the clash of two gentlemen scientists, Marsh and Cope. It includes a story about...
listened to a podcast about this once.
That sounds like a podcast you would listen to, Ed. It includes a story of... That's not an insult. It just does. It includes the story of the Brontosaurus and why Cope wouldn't let Marsh forget that blunder. And Cope actually named most of the fossils in Badlands National Park in South Dakota. Be glad that Zoro and Sanji don't have this type of rivalry. It gets pretty heated. Thank you for the recommendation. That's cool. Yeah.
Bone Wars, huh?
Don't. Don't. Okay, let's go to Reddit.
All right. Let's see. We'll start with Mr. Fiendish, who says, if Big Mom lost her memories, how do Chopper and the kids know that her name is Lin Lin? Well, I mean, Chopper knows her name is Lin Lin because that's her name. Like, I didn't think it was a secret.
Yeah.
Although I could also see like an alternate explanation that like that's literally the one thing that she does remember is that her name is Lin Lin or something, because you know, that's a childhood. That's something that you know since childhood, and she's kind of in a childlike state right now. Baker Turtle 17 says it doesn't seem like we're going to get an answer as to why Big Mom has lost her memories anytime soon. Do you think Sanji's cuisine training at Kamabaka Queendom has anything to do with Big Mom's memory loss, perhaps as a delayed effect? If it's not caused by Sanji's cooking, what else do you think could have caused her amnesia?
She bonked her head.
Yeah,
Pretty much. Yeah.
She drowned and washed up and then survived, or spit out the water or whatever.
Isn't this like how like Link's Awakening starts, or does Link remember who he is?
It's a dream, right?
Whoa, spoilers! Come on.
Damn it, man! I've never played the game.
It's a 20-year-old game.
Well, I'm a 30-year-old man.
Spoiler alert, Doki Doki Panic, not real.
To anybody who's mad right now because the game is coming out in December, they're remaking Link's Awakening.
Well, I don't know, Zach, if you want to bleep me, go for it.
No.
I'm too lazy.
No.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
All right. DDD Freed says, hey, OP Potato Latkes. Seeing Oda recreate Edo Japan in Wano has been a total delight. The themes and details of that era getting the One Piece treatment makes for intriguing, goofy, and sometimes poignant readings. Obviously, this is nothing new, as Oda loves playing with settings from both history and our collective imagination. My question for you is, what setting would you most like to see Oda play with and get One Piece-ified? Personally, I'd love to see a world rooted in Buddhist philosophy with gurus and spirituality being the focus. That or something with space, because space is sweet.
So we've kind of gotten taste of both of those, I should say, because Enru in space, we've talked about that a lot. That's from the cover stories for those who haven't had a chance. And Buddhism, Aruj has been kind of an ambassador for, but very, very sparingly. Because we haven't seen Aruj all that much, despite his immense popularity in Japan. But I assume at some point, since we've been getting like deep looks at all of the supernovae, we'll at some point see Aruj as well in that kind of detail.
Yeah. Man, what kind of setting? I mean, I think it'd be fun to see like a Western.
Yeah, we talked. It's been a while.
Like Cowboys. Yeah.
Right. It's not Bonnaroo Island. That was about it.
Yeah.
They said Bonnaroo Island for a second.
You don't want to go there. I guess
Wild West would have been my choice. So that's that's really what I would like to see.
Maybe something like the Serengeti would be cool, or like that, like that deep Africa, like I mean, you could really think of anything the mind could imagine. So we could, we could get much more in depth than that.
Something that doesn't involve a kingdom, maybe that would be cool.
Yeah, I agree. Enough kingdoms.
Goes Mostly says, I'm sure this has come up already, but Onigashima Island is kind of weird, right? Was it always there? If so, who occupied it before Kaido? I'm probably overthinking this, and it might not get answered in the story, but I wondered if it's crossed your minds. Keep OPPing.
Wait, is
I'm OPPing right now.
I was gonna say, I'm not gonna do that while I'm on the air. The funny, just to note, not to answer this person's question at all, but Onigashima Island in this chapter was super cutesified. I don't know if you guys noticed on the map.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny for like an island that's supposed to be super ominous.
It was a very like Alphonse Elric in chibi form type of look.
I mean, I just assumed it was Spider Skull Island from the Venture Brothers.
Well, actually, here, let me read this next question because this is also kind of in a similar vein.
Good.
As we have learned, this is from Nick2473 Got, who says, as we have learned, Wano is neatly divided into 6 regions with different climates. What if an ancient Oni, possibly Ors, the continent puller, or a relative, actually created Wano by pulling 6 different islands together? One could see this as him bringing these captured islands back to his lair. The island right next to Wano is, after all, Onigashima, and its silhouette appears to be a large oar's head. One could imagine that the monster that lived there somehow dragged these 6 regions of Wano together. And what if Kaido were a descendant of that monster? The only counter-argument, I guess, is that it's hard to imagine how the people living on those islands would have survived such a thing.
You know, it's almost kind of similar to Dressrosa, where in a way, in that Doflamingo was a descendant of a celestial dragon. Here, a dragon would be a descendant of an Oni. I mean, I think it's a really interesting theory. But you kind of get into that, like, I'm the rightful heir of Wano thing, potentially.
Yeah.
With that, which kind of scares me. But.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that this was like 3,000 years ago or something like that. Like it has nothing to do with modern day or something. But
well, do we honestly know like where the Ors race comes from? Like, have we? Because if we don't, I mean, that's a pretty good idea if they originate from the island of Onigashima. And like you said, the continent pulling, like bringing all the islands together. Yeah. Ors Jr. was the one who visited Wano with Ace in the flashback. So
right,
yeah,
that part's interesting.
And I guess is like. We don't know anything about Little Ors Jr. other than but is he like a descendant of Ors fully, or is he like half an Ors, or like there's a lot of potential there.
I mean, I've been saying for years, even still to this day, I'm not throwing away the Oni no Mi idea. Like, I know now Kaido's a dragon, all this stuff, but I still think that maybe Kaido is a dragon that ate like an Oni fruit, or there's some Oni fruit on the island.
It could be the other way. Like he could be some descendant of an Oni, but then he ate the dragon.
Had a dragon fruit. Exactly. But I think there is some type of like Oni tie. And considering the fact that the name of the island is Onigashima, and all of the Ors characters that we've seen have, obviously things that remind you of the classical Oni figures that you'd see in like Japanese mythology. So I don't know.
Yeah, Oni and yokai and all that kind of stuff is very big in Japanese mythology. So I would be surprised if we didn't have that addressed, especially Onigashima being the name, as we said. Yeah.
So Nivers has a question. So I'm going to ask, just to put this up here first, since I know none of the rest of us have. Roger, is it possible that you have played any public demos of World Seeker?
I have not, but a bunch of my friends were at Gamescom and played the public demo. But apparently, after talking to some of the people at Bandai Namco, that is not the demo that you should look at in terms of the final game, and that the final game, I should actually be seeing it in a couple weeks. So I'm excited about that. But as soon as I know more, I'll tweet about it.
Okay. Well, I will read out this question. Anyways, I want to get it when it comes out, and I can't decide if I should get it for PC or PS4. From the gameplay videos I saw, it looks like it controls like a third-person shooter where you're using a crosshair to aim and position the camera angle in the direction you want to move. If it controls like this, I'll get it for PC so I can use a keyboard and mouse. However, I'm hesitant to get it on PC because the last One Piece games on PC got bad ports. Although it is using the Unreal Engine, so I'm optimistic about the port. I don't know. I guess I also
didn't know. I didn't know Burning Blood had a bad PC port. I thought the PC port of Burning Blood was actually pretty good.
I don't know. Maybe maybe this is just me in my preconceptions, but I have a hard time imagining them having keyboard and mouse controls for a game like this. I would just assume that they would require a controller. Although maybe maybe it'll be mappable on Steam.
I mean, probably right. Like that's usually, I guess, if games like this come out on Steam, they kind of assume you have a controller because
yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine playing some games that are on Steam without a controller on. To be perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if they have Pirate Warriors on PC, right? Like does that have keyboard controls? I don't know. Anyways, I guess
whenever I play a game on PC, I'm usually playing with a controller. So.
Right. Yeah. Grand Reboot has a theory. You know how Garp gave Ace to Dadan to hide his identity? I wonder if that is the same reason why he brought Luffy to her as well. I wondered why Luffy did not stay with his granddad until I thought it could be that Dragon started to get really active and Garp started getting worried for Luffy. I'm assuming Luffy's relation with Red Hair Shanks didn't help. What do you think? Is this a possibility? If so, what do you think this says about Garp having to take care of 2 children in his ripe old age without revealing their identities to the world? Was giving him over, was that before he hung out with Shanks, or was that after?
It was right after, because he had the hat.
Right after.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I assumed it was because of Shanks. But it's a reasonable idea. I'm not like, I guess eventually we're going to get like kind of more of a Dragon backstory. So at that point we might kind of, that seam might be filled in, but I don't know.
It's hard. Garp is such an aloof character. It's hard to pin down like if he has hidden motives for certain things or not. Cause he always seems like he's just sort of taking things easy. I don't know. It's mysterious. Fish Mammoth says, gotta say that Chopper and Big Mom are the comedy duo I never knew I needed. Didn't think I would be saying that after the last arc, especially when Chopper threatened to drown both of them in the ocean, but they are hilarious. Do you think Big Mom's memory will come back if she sees Luffy or anyone she has met before? I know she's met Chopper, but did she ever see him when he was not in one of his different forms? I remember he was doing a lot of transforming during the Straw Hats fight with her, but I don't remember if she ever saw him regularly. And what are your thoughts on her Wano look?
This is actually something that came up a lot in the discussion portion of my live reaction today. A lot of people were bringing up like when Big Mom is going to get her memories back. And the thing that makes sense to me is that she wouldn't get them back until the end of the story arc, which then like allows us to have Big Mom chase the Straw Hats to Elbaf. Because I think there's not going to be a world in which Big Mom is not part of the upcoming Elbaf arc. And I do feel like the way it's being set up now, we're going to need Big Mom as an ally going into the stuff at the Fire Festival. So my guess is that Luffy and even maybe Kid, like none of these characters are really going to bring back her memories. I think it's when she has her interactions with Kaido, that's when her memories are going to come flooding back. And she'll be in the midst of the combat and everything else going on at the ending, that she basically is going to be like, all right, well, you know what? If Kaido's coming at me full force, I need to work with these guys anyway. It's my priority is going to get eventually getting back the Straw Hats at the end of all of this. And then, like I said, chasing them to Elbaf and bringing us to that story. But I don't think her memories are coming back anytime soon. Certainly not like when she gets to the prison to help Luffy escape. I mean, I might be wrong, but it seems like this is something that's going to be played out for a while.
I think you're at least half right, because I like the idea of Big Mom and Elbaf being connected in some way, because there's already been a lot of connection with that.
Right.
And that seems to kind of be the next thing on the horizon. But I feel like it's going to happen sooner than the end of Wano, because I think there needs to be that conflict of her getting her memories back and also being like, oh, these guys have been really good to me here now.
Right.
I think that would be a really interesting.
Don't you think that would be don't you think they'd be like in the midst of combat though? That's like what I'm saying is I don't necessarily
I don't
the
know.
very end of Wano. I mean like once the Fire Festival stuff starts.
And we also have like all these different acts. Like that could be the end of an act.
Right.
Not necessarily.
I mean that would be an amazing cliffhanger, right? Is a lot of people predicted with the different acts that one of them would be Big Mom arriving in Wano, and now all this crazy stuff has happened in Act 2. where, I mean, that could be a great way to end up Act 2, is maybe like they all are setting up for the raid, and then suddenly Big Mom remembers something, and then boom.
Well, it's a shoe that's going to fall, at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
I want to just note, and this is very interesting, that at the very beginning of Whole Cake Island, we said, hey, maybe Big Mom will end up being a good guy. And look at things come full circle.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I kind of agree that it might be towards the end of this arc, not necessarily from like a plot, listing plot points or reasons, but more from like a story construction perspective, because I was pretty sure that like we weren't going to get Big Mom directly involved in this arc, simply because like she's a huge, she's a major character who also has like a very outsized personality. And this is now, this is Kaido's arc, not to act like it has to be a fair thing, but like, that's like you have this central villain or like this really imposing bad guy that you've built up. And, you wouldn't necessarily want to like split that time if Big Mom is going to be like, kind of her full self. And so having her in this sort of amnesiac state, now that she's here, and it's like, okay, well, she's going to be part of this this story arc one way or another. Having her in this form allows Oda to kind of write her as a useful character who is not necessarily like also causing trouble for the Straw. Like, oh, we have to deal with both of them now, or like Big Mom is going to be the one who beats Kaido, and then it's like, well, what are the Straw Hats doing here? Like it's a tricky thing to make sure that the villain, the truly dangerous villain of this arc, gets the spotlight that makes it worthwhile. And so that's why I feel like he's probably going to use her in this amnesiac state for a good while, because otherwise, she's just going to run off on her own. She's going to take on a life of her own, because that's just the kind of character that she is. And it'll wreak havoc on the story. So Xeno Logos says, I love that we got a giant smile user with an elephant stomach and a scorpion smile user with his stinger in his hair, but the only one with an Oda box, and clearly the most important, is the alpaca smile user that just spits on Luffy the entire time. Anyway, I was wondering how the new release schedule has been for the podcast. I know it makes it easier for me to comment because I'm usually at home. Does recording Sunday make scheduling easier? How are we feeling about this, Zach?
Actually, I want to throw first to Roger, because you've had a lot of different. You've been moving all over the place.
So I initially moved them to Mondays with the official release after the, having Shonen Jump be like same day, and then I realized that once they started releasing simultaneously on Sunday, I'm like, well, I might as well just do the live reaction on Sunday. Like, why am I waiting anymore to do it on Monday? So when I moved to Sunday nights, it's great now. Like, I haven't been on the podcast in a while, but I mean, like, it's nice having just one piece. As soon as it happens, everybody's talking about it. I go on Twitter, everybody's talking about the chapter. It's great. So I like doing my live reactions on Sundays. I keep my reviews to Monday just because I like to sort of like think about stuff for about a day and think, what everybody else has been talking about, or reread the chapter and see if there's other things that I missed. And I like to not have to just rush the review out at the same time. But yeah, I mean, doing my live reactions on Sundays has been great. Yeah.
For me, it's been better. I just became a commuter too, so doing weeknights was gonna start getting really difficult. So this actually was timed pretty well. I know, Steven, it's been a little
trickier. Yeah. On the weekends for me, and also I've just been more busy than usual lately. Period. So that's been tricky, but. With the holiday season behind us, that always makes things simpler, I think, schedule-wise.
I also just feel like there's a little less of a time pressure getting things out. Either whether it be like if I need the time, if I need to do it Monday morning, right? Since we're doing it earlier than we were anyway, I'm like, right. People aren't as, I think, impatient about it, depending on the chapter, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I've been enjoying it. Yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah, from the YouTube perspective, again, I think the move to Monday was very difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But the Sunday like now that I'm doing the live reactions on Sundays, now it's great because now people are like, "Oh, whoa, your live reaction stream's early," and so which is something that like was unheard of for months. No one would say that.
No, I know. Yeah,
so
that's
nice.
great. And we were, Roger, I know we were talking about way back in the day. Like, imagine if this happened where we are right now. So it's really great to see.
I think that's the surprising thing too, right? Is I think it was this thing where, okay, this maybe one day we're all going to get it and it's going to be legal and it's going to be free and it's going to be great. And there was always that idea in people's heads that maybe one day it would happen. So it actually
I think we were pessimistic about it too, though.
Right. Well, yeah. I definitely was. I didn't think it was going to happen at all. But the second it did, I was like, all right, cool. Now I'm able to do this. I'm able to make the move. But I think for a long time, it didn't make sense because I have an international audience, right? So many people in a bunch of different territories read at different times. And I happened to make the move when it was just like simultaneous with North America.
Right.
And so a lot of my international audience was upset about it. But now because of Manga Plus stuff, my international audience loves it. So
you're right back where you started. It's perfect. Yeah.
Exactly.
And better. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Stephen.
All right, let's see. Lord Nemo 593 says, with Manga Plus, I'm getting into new manga such as Dr. Stone. I want to know if any of you have read it, and is there a podcast similar to yours that covers Dr. Stone or other ongoing manga in Shonen Jump?
So you guys are getting exclusive right now. I announced on my schedule video that I uploaded today, because I had just changed over a bunch of things and added stuff, that I'm doing a 4th read-through series on my channel. I currently do My Hero Academia, Promise Neverland, Bleach, and then I said to be announced. A little bit of inside baseball. The 2 series I am going through right now are Dr. Stone and Naruto, because I've actually never read Naruto. Which is a big one. You'd think like, oh my God, how have you not read it? You're an anime YouTuber, but I haven't. So please let me know in the comments of that video if you would rather me do Naruto or Dr. Stone, because I've heard very good things about Dr. Stone, and the very little that I've seen of it, I liked. So yeah, let me know if you want Dr. Stone read-throughs. I'm open to doing them.
Yeah, I don't think there's the only podcast. I know there's a My Hero Academia one.
Well, I mean, I guess the Shonen Jump podcast covers.
Yeah, they do cover
it. Sure.
Yeah.
And I know Dr. Stone, Caleb also translates.
Yeah. I think he said that is like secretly that's his favorite. Like he likes working on that even more than My Hero. Yeah.
It wasn't a secret when he said it on our show, was it?
Yeah, I think he said it on the show.
Yeah, I was being facetious. Yeah. Oh no, the My Hero Academia fans are going to come after him. Are you enjoying Bleach?
Oh my God, I'm loving Bleach. Yeah.
Well, what are you up to? I should say.
I'm up to I think chapter 17 or 16. So I did 16 chapters in one sit through. Yeah. And
it's still good right now.
Yeah.
Chapter 20, then
No, it's past that.
No, I mean I've really been enjoying it. That's a series that, again, like when I was growing up, I pretty much just latched onto One Piece and I missed the Naruto and Bleach wave. And it really is nice now that those series are done, and because the whole backlog is on Shonen Jump, like I literally have just been able to go through the entire series and read it in one fell swoop. And so, like, I didn't even know there were ghosts in it. So, like, the very first chapter, I knew there was, like, the Soul Society and souls played a part. But, like, the very first chapter when there was that ghost girl, I'm like, wait a minute. This is a ghost manga? Like, what's going on here?
Well, for now.
Okay, well.
I mean, it was Yu Yu Hakusho, and then it became...
Don't be so pessimistic. I want you to have fun enjoying it.
Please enjoy
I've heard this
it's really good for a while. Like
it is. For a long while, even. Like, for a decent amount of time, it's good. But then it really flies off the rails, in my opinion. Kubo...
You know around what chapter that happens? Like,
it was
episode a while.
Yeah.
I know the story.
60 episodes of the anime were pretty good.
Okay, yes, cool. Yeah. The first 60 episodes of the anime are fantastic.
I'm good for a while then. I'm good for a while.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're good.
Just
You're good for a bunch of arcs.
My experience with it, unfortunately, I just got behind with reading it, and at that time, Adult Swim was already getting to the Soul Society arc, and I was seeing a little bit of it, and it just felt very repetitive, and I just wasn't interested. Because it was like
Soul Society arc. That was like the last thing that I
agreed.
I read fully.
Yeah. It seems like it's like the tuning exams of Bleach. It's like hey, like this is really awesome in Naruto. At the same time, this is also killing the series for me. This is all my opinion.
I will say Kubo has the best chapter names ever.
Oh yeah.
It's like
They're great.
it's English like to the extreme. So even if you're not enjoying a chapter, you will enjoy the title.
I will say this. So there's the trend that I do with all of my read-throughs. It's a little bit of a tradition. Is I'll order food live during the read-through because it's like a 5-hour thing, and we have themed foods for each read-through. So like for My Hero, it was pizza. For Promised Neverland, it was chicken wings. And for the Bleach, we got halfway through, and people were donating for like me to order a pizza. And I'm like, I cannot sit here and like eat a full pizza by myself every week. It's not happening. So like we need to come up with something else. And people suggested strawberry foods. And so for the first read-through, I ordered like this little strawberry cake with the strawberry smoothie. And I'm going to say, I really like this. I think this is my favorite food so far that I've eaten.
I think you need a new name for this. This sounds like dinner in a manga.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dinner in a manga. Ooh, that's clean. I like that name.
Steve, didn't we do something like that way back with like we ordered Domino's and we just talked about One Piece for a while, right?
We were at a convention. We
Pizza?
went to a panel room that was empty, and we ordered Domino's. And for some reason, we just recorded like a live podcast.
Yeah.
Nice.
And somehow was that you and I? I forget if it was you and I
It was
or
a
Jason.
vidcast,
who-
wasn't
It
it?
was the three of us, yeah. Or
yeah,
four
we
of us.
pulled in our
Three?
chairs,
Three.
and somehow it was in sync.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think you have around 200 chapters from what I'm looking at right now.
Okay,
So yeah. Anyway, what's the next question?
Okay, almost done here. GeForce One has 2 questions. The second one's kind of a technical one, so I'm just going to read the first one. Why would amnesia cause Napoleon to not be awake? Is the amnesia causing Big Mom to not remember how to use her powers? If so, why isn't Zeus affected?
Yeah.
Because
I
Zeus
thought
is
about that.
awesome. No, I don't know.
I feel like this
is he not affected? Like, do we know that?
I mean,
Well,
he
he
was
just
talking.
appeared.
Yeah, we
Last
used them, last chapter. So.
Yeah. I feel like this is getting dangerously close to like touching on like comic book logic, secrets.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is a little weird because there's definitely a discrepancy there for sure. So I guess nobody has the pithy answer. So last question on Reddit is from Serpentscape. Says, whether Big Mom dies or is defeated, do you think a consequence will be that Katakuri forms his own pirate crew with his siblings? People had floated the idea before, but this chapter makes it seem like a real possibility. Since Peros also seems like a contender, it would be interesting to have half of these Charlottes following him and trying to continue Big Mom's work, while the other half choose to follow Katakuri and ally with Luffy. What are your thoughts?
Whichever one keeps Flampe far away from the main cast. I never want to see her in anything ever
I mean,
again.
she hates Katakuri now, right? Isn't that how
Yeah,
that
that's
happened?
true.
Yeah.
I like that.
She might get kicked out if Katakuri takes over.
There you go.
They split into
I'd
two.
love
it.
Parasparrow would be one other side.
Get out of my
Man,
sight.
like
Sparrow would get all the sucky ones like Montour.
Literally? Okay.
Dora Flampe and all that.
Is
yeah.
is there a term for like reverse nepotism?
You know what? I really, sorry, I want Montour to form his own pirate crew just so his ship will look like a bookmobile.
I was about to say, I'm like, would his pirate crew just be called the Book Club?
The book club.
The reading
Club
rainbows.
to life.
The reading rainboat? Is that what you just said?
The reading. No, I did not, but I like it.
Oh,
That's great.
that is an
Great.
image. That's
Yeah.
an image.
That's good.
We have a
Sure
lot
is.
of the reading rainbow. Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Ed, it's time too.
Peace the tweet. Tweet time.
Yeah.
First one comes from Martin Linvid, who says, "You guys think Olin is going to be Oda's Iron Giant?"
Oh, Garth.
Is she gonna get blown up by a?
Well, hey, we already saw Batman, so we need a Superman.
We've
I'm gonna
had
say Superman.
we've had enough spoilers this episode. Don't reveal any more about Snatch to me, Alex. That's all I gotta say.
All right,
Oh, I know,
Hey man, you're married. You should know all about Snatch.
Someone get that job.
Which one of us has not seen the Iron Giant? Whose turn in the crosshairs is it?
I done seen it.
I don't think anyone's going
we all have.
to it. Yep.
There was a point where Cartoon Network, like every Thanksgiving, would play it for 24 hours.
Yeah,
actually.
I think
Really?
that might be the last time I've seen it though. I
Huh.
need to watch
Yeah.
as an adult.
Like, I missed out on it in theaters, but Cartoon Network would have like weekend long marathons, and
Yeah.
that's how I
That's when
finally
I saw
saw
it
it.
too.
I saw it on
Yeah,
Toonami, I think, is probably the last time I saw it. Anyway,
Well,
I
she
need to
is
see it
kind
again.
of like the Iron Giant from the movie, though, the way she fell from the sky. Yeah, anyway.
That is true.
Next one comes from our very own Brian Newton, who says, what's your pick for one of the most underrated fights in One Piece? I think Zoro versus Kaku is a masterclass. Craft, humor, action, flow, and unique designs.
I broke my silence on Twitter because I saw this question because he tagged me for some reason. And when everyone just started praising the Ennie's lobby fights, I thought, okay, I don't think these are underrated because people love these fights.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
Ennie's
are we going to
lobby's
say,
huge.
like, Zoro versus Mr. One is an underrated fight, maybe because people forget about it, but it was a long time ago. But, like, I think it's properly rated. I think people love that fight.
It's
Manji versus Jabra is like top 5.
Yeah.
Easy.
I will say this right now because I found myself in a Twitter and real life discussion of defending the Davy Back fight. Zoro and Sanji versus the Dragon Ring monsters is excellent.
It's great.
Yeah. 100%.
So
Amazing
and so is
Luffy versus Foxy's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
That would have been my choice. I would have said Luffy
Yeah.
versus Foxy. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying both of those for sure.
Yeah. Here's one from
Um,
me, though. Usopp versus Chu from the Arlong arc.
Oh,
It's an
yeah, that's a
underrated
good
fight.
one. That's a good
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
I'm amazed when people still don't like Usopp after that scene because that's when Usopp won me over.
Mm.
I mean, geez, the whole Arlong arc is when like One Piece just won me over entirely. I mean,
We're talking underrated fights now? Was that
yeah,
Yeah, that was the question. Yeah.
even
Well, I
though
got
even though Alabasta is kind of like the pinnacle, of like shonen fights too, just as much as Ennie's Lobby, I think people don't talk about Nami versus Miss Doublefinger enough. I think that's a really that's a
Like-
different kind of
Like,
fight.
as
but-
much as people talk about what Usopp and Chopper versus Mr. Four and Miss Merry Christmas, I think more people should talk about that fight you're talking about.
Alex.
I was going to say Chopper versus Gadatsu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
As
I'll
much as I love this guy, other than Robin versus
Yama.
Yama, and and like Luffy and Eneru has its moments. Are there really any really good fights?
doesn't Zoro and Ohm?
Zoro,
It's-
No,
Well,
it's- I don't know. That one
Zoro's
kinda
other
sucks.
fights are better than that. Like,
Gadatsu and Chopper was a fun one.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just
Alex.
mentioned.
Oh, that's
yeah,
what you
yeah.
That was the
mentioned?
best.
Sorry.
I think
Yeah.
that was the best one. Of the
but like Sanji, Usopp, and Luffy versus Satori tends to annoy many people.
What?
So I wouldn't.
I like that one. It's
I
He's
enjoy
an
it too,
annoying
but-
character, but it's a good fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree
Um,
with that. It's fun to see.
I was just
him
trying to think of
lose.
Thriller Bark fight because
Zoro
the one
versus
that I-
Yuma is fun. It's really
yeah, I feel like that's one that doesn't get a lot of heat. Or all the Straw Hats versus Oars.
Cool. Except
Yeah.
for
That's a
Robin's
great
fight.
one. Yeah.
In the manga, I have to say, probably one of my favorite. Definitely like top 5. It is just so cool looking in the manga, particularly. That fight.
All right. Shall we move on?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we said plenty.
Okay. Mr. Porncast says, "Are we going to see a backstory with Zoro this arc?"
I mean, based on that snatch line, maybe. Like, if that has anything to do with something he heard in his childhood, or if his family had some type of tie to Wano Country, then yeah, I think it's not too late.
No, now would be the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right.
Sorry, I thought I had something. I don't.
Okay. Captain Blackhair says, "If any One Piece character would enter the world of Outlaw Star, who would it be and why?" Steve, you want to help? That's here.
Space
Oh,
Pirates.
I was about to say, I'm like, is this on brand with me now?
Jesus, man.
Man, it's
I-
been so long since I've watched Outlaw Star.
I watched a couple episodes like 6 months ago, but it had been the first time since like forever. God, what a pull.
It's on Hulu now. That I know.
It's almost like any because it is space pirates. Like any One Piece character, just put a space helmet on them and like there you go, Outlaw Star. Trying to think of like who's like really like seedy and like Star Wars Cantina like
Caribou.
And who do you say?
Caribou.
Yeah, there you go. I bet that's who you want to hear about, Caribou. And Ed is right.
Okay. Move on to the next question here. Ghost Start says, Why can't Kaido die from drowning? To me, the only explanations are either he was born an Eastern dragon, he has fishman genes, or he was a government experiment that gave him aquatic abilities. Are there other possibilities?
Maybe. Nah, sorry.
Wait, why can't he? Just because he would have tried to commit suicide that way? Is that the?
Yeah, exactly. He would have
Right.
tried that. Why wouldn't it have worked, though?
Or was that one of the methods they mentioned back in that chapter?
Well, he sunk how many ships? Like,
That's true. I just assume it's because he's able to fly.
Maybe
it's
he
like
subconsciously does it.
Maybe
like Kumadori.
can dragons breathe underwater?
Zach,
Because-
dragons don't exist.
Oh yeah.
Well, Eastern dragons are like the water themed ones, right? So
Yes.
I'd imagine that like if he was originally a dragon, then because that's one of the things that this guy brought up, right? Is that if he was originally a dragon and he fell in the water and his
Right.
devil fruit's powers were negated, then he would, be able to breathe underwater still.
Well, that
So-
would explain why when he's really drunk, he just goes around as a dragon. Although he
Yeah.
was also drunk as a human-ish.
Yeah,
thing.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay,
Yeah.
next question comes from Cracker Jakku, who says, I think at some point Zunisha will attack Kaido and land a few hits before being killed.
Oh, I forgot
All the
about-
allies on Kinemon's side and the starving citizens of Wano are going to need food for the end of the Ark party, so I'm guessing 1,000-year elephant kebabs will be on the menu.
Ew.
Horrible.
That
Why would
is
you do that?
awful.
That's a terrible image, but I like the idea.
I don't like,
I
the,
like the
idea.
I think it's a good idea.
I forgot that. What was it? Dude, where's my Zunisha? Dude, where's my Zoe? That's what it was. Dude, where's my Zoe?
Okay.
I like how did the minks get there? I would not be surprised to see Zunisha enter this fight, and that would be pretty awesome.
All right.
Go ahead.
Return to Sabati says, if you were the captain in the One Piece world, what characters would you want on your crew? You can pick anyone, including Marines.
Oh, I did a video about this. I'm gonna go back and look real quick. I'm gonna cheat and look up.
I
Yeah.
feel like this is too easy. This is like kid in the candy store. Like, why
Let me
wouldn't you
see.
just like?
All of them.
All the straw hats.
This is like, I have the best crew. I have lots and lots of powers. I have invincibility shield, lightning bolt.
It's the Mary Sue Pirates.
Yeah. Hmm.
So Law for the immortality stuff and for his doctor abilities. Fujitora and Kizaru because they're overpowered. Marco also for healing abilities. Jack because we're the Mammoth Boys. And Shirahoshi because she could talk to the Sea Kings.
Okay. All right. Next one comes from CEO253, who says, hey, OPP, if you could pick the next cover story, would it follow Germa, the Doflamingo family, the Charlotte family, or Caesar? I kind of want Caesar.
Yeah, I want.
Wait, what was
Caesar
the question
too.
again?
Cover story. Next cover
Oh, yeah,
story.
Caesar. 100%
Caesar'd
Caesar.
be great. Yeah.
Caesar.
Caesar and
Definitely
Germa together.
Oh, man,
would be
that sounds
cool.
like a
Yeah.
recipe for fun.
Yeah.
Well, like,
Hey, you know what?
we know that Caesar. Well, we
Spin-off.
think that Caesar knew Judge, right?
Oh yeah. No, I'm sure.
I will
well,
say-
they both work for Vegapunk or with
Right.
Vegapunk. Yeah.
I would
I will say
also
this.
accept Capone's family vacation.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
A
I
Capone's
want
family
to
funeral.
watch like a Goof Troop type spinoff where Capone is like the next door neighbor to like I don't know Judge.
Well, then you could be the next door neighbor to Treble, you know.
Oh my God, you can call it Trevor. Yeah, Goop Troop. Oh my God,
Goop troop whoop warp.
yes.
Wait, so is
Oh,
Capone
back
the
to
one
the-
who says gloop lorp the entire time? Is that the bloop lorp?
Have we ever decided what Treble's son would be? Would be like Bevel or
No, it would.
Pebble?
God, it would be bass, treble, and bass.
Yeah.
Oh
What
God.
is this, Mega Man? Get out of here, Zach.
Goodbye.
I
That
will.
would be. That's 4K.
I will say this. Can I say this? Okay.
Say-
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right,
Can I
okay.
finish?
May I please finish? If we do get a Germa cover story, I want it told in the form of a comic strip.
Yeah.
Oh, please. Yes, that's great.
Yeah,
That is.
Yeah,
and
I like
I
that
want
idea.
it to look like Family Circus.
Or Dilbert.
Oh my God. It's dramatically better than Family Circus, just by being the virtue of not being Family Circus.
Mallard Fillmore.
Every like cover, a chapter cover is just a circle now instead of a square image, like the Family Circus. Yeah,
I can't wait to, or they could get a cat that likes to eat lasagna.
Marmaduke crossover episode.
Marmaduke.
Okay.
Marmaduke.
It was right in front of us the entire time.
Yeah.
One of the Germa strips would be like, "Who let Sanji out of his cage?" And then Reiju's got the not me ghost behind her.
Well, Cat Viper loves lasagna, right? So obviously he's aware of Garfield. We can get Garfield the cat.
Oh
That'd be
my
great.
God. Ed, yeah,
The
we're not going to
dog
beat
OG.
that, but go.
Okay. Ninja Emperor 55 says, I recently reread the Whole Cake Island arc while listening to your episodes from the time. Have your feelings on Pedro's sacrifice changed since it happened? You guys had been frustrated because you felt it be another Pell situation. Well, it wasn't.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know that yet. I was going
Well,
to say we don't know
No,
that yet.
like last
Also-
time you wrapped that up before the arc ended. Like,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also the Whole Cake Island stuff kind of is still going. The characters are still there. We talked about all of them this week. So I'm not closing the book on that yet.
it was very emotional and it was a good anime episode when it happened.
Yeah, for sure.
I even enjoyed that little bit of implied filler with Peckham's Sulong form. Like, I don't think that was in the manga.
It
Yeah,
was.
why not?
Yeah.
It was?
No, well, yeah. He went too long in the manga. Yeah.
did.
No, I mean like the little flashback with.
Oh,
Pedro.
no. They changed, though. That was weird about that anime episode is they changed how they took down Peckham's. Because in the manga, don't they, like, gouge out his eyes?
They're
then-
gonna gouge his eyes out. Yeah.
Yeah, they just completely took that out of the anime. That was kind of weird.
Jesus.
Because it's pretty fucked up.
Well, I know,
I
but
think that
mean,
might be why.
considering all the weird things that the One Piece anime keeps, it's
They-
surprising that
They
would be the
censor
thing.
very odd things. I
Yeah.
mean,
They-
they
well,
do censor. Yeah.
They gouged his eyes the way that the Three Stooges gouge out eyes. They just
Right.
went,
Right.
Or I thought they gouged out his eyes like when you're eating like a Spider-Man or Sonic popsicle, like just those little gumball eyes. You just take 'em out.
They turn his eyes into gumballs.
Oh my God, but that's what his eyes look like, right?
Oh,
when you
man.
took off his glasses, Peckham's? They
That's
look
right.
like the little gumballs?
Yeah.
Hence the joke I made.
No, I just
Yes.
was putting two and two together,
Well, coming
Steve.
back.
Well, before we knew those were
Yep.
goggles, it does kind of look like Hyogoro's eyes kind of look like a
Right.
little
Yeah.
gumball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Ed.
a mink.
There
Okay,
you go.
91 Ryan says, how much do you want to bet that kid got out Shawshank Redemption style? The only question on that would be, who is Morgan Freeman?
Killer.
Oh, I thought.
Yo,
Yeah.
isn't it
Yeah.
Yo?
Yeah, it'd be Yo.
Yeah.
I would. My question would be, who'd be the poster? Like, who would be the?
Oh,
Who would?
oh, it
who'd
would
on
be
the poster?
Komurasaki, of course.
Oh, duh.
There you go. There you go.
God, it sucks that
So,
we've already. I was gonna say it sucks that we already chose the episode title because that's a good image.
Well, what's the
What
title?
would, yeah, what would you call it? The
The Udon Redemption.
Udon Redemption. Oh, that's good. I like it. Maybe we could save
yeah,
it.
trying to think of something more snappy, but
Yeah.
that would
Is the only reason why Luffy didn't escape because he's like, I don't want to get covered in shit.
Yeah, I'm good, kid. Have fun with that.
I'm going to develop a plan B here. It's not that bad.
And
Yeah.
kid's like, nah, you crawl through the shit. That's all you got to do.
Oh yeah, I forgot. The Rizo. Rizo was supposed to help Luffy break out of prison, so
Oh, yeah.
maybe Luffy was just sticking to that plan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because Rizo still is there. He's in the prison.
Yeah, with our buddy Caribou.
Oh my God. Everyone's
Maybe
friend.
that's what. Maybe it wasn't shit. It was Caribou that kid was crawling through.
Ew. That's even worse than shit. Okay, what's next, Ed?
All right, Dr. Know-It-All says, so is everyone officially on board now that Zoro's actually from Wano? That hashtag
I don't think
sad.
that's
what?
Whoa.
Yeah,
What a hashtag.
like you've made several leaps there, sir.
I mean, probably not. No. I mean, it's possible that his teacher is either from or had some association with it, but that's, neither here nor there. Yeah.
I'll say this again because I feel like I've said this on the podcast before, but I've had this discussion in person. Like, what does Zoro being from Wano add to his character? I think, if anything, it cheapens the progression he's had as a person and a progression in his strength throughout the entire series. Like, if you say, oh, he's from Wano, I'm like, oh, well, he's just naturally gifted. I like the fact that Zoro has had to work hard to be the at the level he is now.
Yeah, he's much harder than anyone else, so you could go so far to say.
It's like it's a development like later in Yu Yu Hakusho that really cheapens Yusuke's whole progression through that story. I don't like it. I don't want to see it.
All right, next one comes from Johnny24, who says, in Marineford, if Luffy hadn't knocked out Mr. 3 with Haki, do you think he would have killed Ace? No, that's not how the way the story worked out, is it?
Ace is dead.
Yeah, either way.
Maybe in another installment of the One Piece magazine, I want to see Oda's interpretation of that what if story. He's like, sorry, man. Wear the outfit.
www.acesdead.com.
What else?
Next one comes from the Sea Freak, who says, what if Queen is not a dinosaur like a lot of people say? With the title of Playing, he could be something on a much smaller scale. It makes sense if he had a flea fruit, like they're the best jumpers in the animal kingdom, or even an amoeba fruit. He already has the build of one.
Well, also,
An amoeba fruit?
Jack being the drought has nothing to do with his power.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At all.
No.
As far as we could tell. I've never seen a mammoth that dries the land out, but that's me.
Although, I think it'd be really awesome if he pulled a Merlin from Sword of the Stone, the Disney one, and turned into a germ.
If Queen ate the amiibo fruit, is his feet just attached to like a circular base, and that's why he's running around the vehicle?
That's right.
Like from.
And every time you pass him, you hear Mario saying "Hello."
Generally,
I like it.
His beast form is his half beast form is Mario. He just grows a mustache. Another mustache. Sorry.
Ed,
All right. This one comes from Maddie, our very own Maddie, over in Tokyo now. Can someone explain to me why Sanji has his clothes back after he removed them to change into Soba mask? They should have disappeared, so why isn't he naked right now? I need answers, Oda.
So,
I feel it's important to say that she missed her train stop because she was tweeting that.
what was that thing going around Twitter? Like, what's the most in character thing you've ever done?
Miss your train stop because you're tweeting about naked Sanji.
So this is a day later. So I assume he clothed himself. I'm sorry, Maddie. Between the two, between that night,
Yeah, there was more time elapsed between.
Yeah, there was a bunch. It was off screened, just like the fight.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oda's
So
messing
nobody
with
gets
us.
what they want.
Roger and Maddie both lost out.
There we go.
Okay, last one comes from Wes the Fitting, who says, lots of great stuff in this chapter. Olin's amazing hair got me thinking about which other characters would look great in Wano. Whose Wano design would you like to see? Personally, I'd want to see crocodiles. I'd see Ivankov's. That'd be great.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ivankov's a good choice. Yeah.
That is a really good choice.
Here's the thought, Oda. What about Jinbei?
Ooh, wait, he always looks like that.
He's always ready for Wano the way he dresses.
Yeah.
It'd be great if he just dresses in a suit. And comes to Wano.
I think that's it.
This country has enough human
I would like to
Jinbeis
see
already.
Doflamingo with Wano hair. That'd be awesome.
No way. No, Jinbei just dresses like a 20th century salaryman.
That's great.
Jinbei will like a
That's-
tourist walking around in a floral shirt and like cargos.
Oh my god.
I want Jinbei to dress like a street punk and have a pompadour.
Yes, all great, all amazing choices. Okay, so that's
I want him to crouch and just hold a kendo stick over his shoulder and a surgical mask.
I promise
Oh,
you,
yeah.
we will at one point finish this episode.
Oh wait. If he has that Hawaiian shirt, he'll look a whole lot like Guy Fieri. So
Jinbei.
just be careful.
All right, that's gonna do it. Unless you have any more Jinbei outfits, let's round off and do some trivia. This has been the One Piece podcast for February 24th, 2019. Great episode today, you guys. We're going to return with the anime recap next week. There's no manga chapter, so a double anime seems appropriate. But yeah, this week we did manga. We did some piece together. We have a fan trivia from Ben Wild coming up soon. But first, let's go over how people could contact you guys. Roger.
Sure, you can find me at Rogers Base on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, and on Instagram. I do live reactions and reviews of the One Piece manga every single week. We follow the official release, and so the live reactions are on Sunday night, reviews are on Monday, and I also cover the One Piece anime on a stream every Saturday night as well. So if you like One Piece, make sure to subscribe, and I'm currently holding a quadruple One Piece figure giveaway. I'm giving away a Kabuki Luffy Portrait of Pirates figure, the Sanji Film Z figure, the Banpresto Reiju, and Banpresto Law figures. There is a link to enter that giveaway on my Twitter account. So if you just go at RogersBase, you can enter for your chance to win a bunch of really awesome One Piece figures. And thanks for having me. This was fun.
Of course, Roger. Steven.
Yes, you may follow me on Twitter at Translatosaurus for mostly pictures of my cat, but I've been trying to get a little more One Piece stuff out there. So follow me there.
Steve.
You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. Steve Yurko is the username. I have been posting a lot of other things lately, but I'm trying to draw some more. So, also, I'm on other podcasts. I co-host The Deep End, which is the Adult Swim podcast I do with Matthew J. of Cartoons 101. We just, as of this recording, our Yu Yu Hakusho episode just came out last week. So check that out. I also do the Wrestling Entrance Theme podcast, Toon Sweet, with Doctor from the SSA podcast. Our latest episode covering WWE Uncaged 2 just came out, so also check that out. And one more thing to check out, Hot Street Season 2 just started airing on Adult Swim on Sunday nights at midnight. I guess 2 episodes a week, so back-to-back from midnight to 12:30. Check that out.
Alex.
Find me on Twitter at dude exclamation, all one word. Also check out my my shitpost Twitter account, Weeb Simpsons. Listen to Toho Yaro, the Japanese Film Club podcast that I do with Jay Weiser and Scott Dryman. Our latest episode is Lone Wolf and Cub, so please watch that or listen to that, I suppose. Watch it and then listen to it. Get the most out of your Toho Yaro experience, and go to superartfight.com/merch and buy the card game I worked on, Cute Animals on Fire. It's a drawing-based card game, and you do not need to know how to draw to play it.
Ed.
I'm on Twitter at Edward E. One Piece, and also at Weeb Trailers. That's where I post the weird trailers I see. Although this today I posted the one for The Night is Short, Walk On Girl, because I just rewatched that the other night, and that's a really great movie. More people should see that. And also the tweet I did about the Funimation Central, the Funimation fan club website.
Oh God,
did real big numbers over the weekend. Apparently, I did not know that they used to have webcams in the voice acting booth. So
it's weird. They did that at Adult Swim also. They used to just have cameras showing their offices.
Yeah, I saw a lot of voice actors retweeting it and just being like, "Oh my god, all these baby versions of older vets." now." It's
interesting. All those old Funimation trailers have either Sabbath or Sunny Straight, as this one was, doing the voiceover.
If Labs.
They sound so young. Anyway, so you're a Zach_Rogan on Twitter. The podcast can be found at OnePiecePodcast.com, Twitter.com, YouTube.com, and Facebook.com/OnePiecePodcast. OnePiecePodcast@gmail.com is our email address. One Piece Podcast is the Skype name. r/One Piece Podcast, that's our subreddit. You can leave us some piece together there. You can subscribe on SoundCloud, subscribe on Google Play, subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts, or call us on our phone number, Zach.
Our phone number is 347-497-MAJI. That phone number again is 347-497-6254. Call anytime.
Anytime.
With your questions, comments, and theories, remember that my father's name was Alpaca Man. So
I'm surprised you like that so much. That joke really doesn't work.
That's why it's funny.
It's good. So this week's trivia, as I mentioned, came from Ben Wild. And it's a really good one. It's a really hard one. So let's see if you guys could do this, okay?
What
You
order
ready?
are we going in?
So the order, that's a very good question, Roger. We're going to go in the order we did the manga recap in, which is, let's do it. Ed, you're going to start this time. Ed, Alex,
All right.
Steven, Steve, Roger.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm going to write that at the top so I don't forget it. So for those who have not played before, this is what we do on the trivia segment. We have a category, and you have to name all the members in that category. So we go around, you name a member in that category. If you either repeat what someone has said, if you say something that's not in that category, or you can't say something in time, and I'm going to enforce the time rule a little bit more than usual this time, then you're out. Okay? And whoever gets the most correct wins a taiyaki when I see them next. Okay, the category, and I'm going to read it as Ben read it. Said, please name the characters that have lost a body part either permanently or temporarily, not counting teeth, shadows, or souls. Bonus point if you could name the part. I can't really. I don't know if I could. I guess that you could get like no. I'm not giving any bonus points for if you can name the part, but you can if you want. Now I'll say that these are up through Whole Cake Island. I don't know if anyone's lost a body part in Wano, so I don't want to. I don't think so. But all right, let's get started. Ed,
Shanks, arm.
good one. Alex,
Pedro, eye.
yes, you did. Steven.
Cat Viper.
There are a lot. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Steve, a lot of people have lost things.
Baron Tamago, I.
Yeah, he did. Roger. Oh,
Law. Oh,
yeah, no, it's you.
I was gonna say, yeah, Law. Dressrosa, arm.
Yeah, there he is. Ed, round 2.
Paraspero, arm.
God, everyone loses their damn arm. Alex.
Fuck.
Really, you name any character, you're very likely to get it right.
Oh, crocodile hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Steven.
Dogstorm.
Yep.
Foot.
Steve.
Aokiji, leg.
Yeah, you're right. Where is he here? It's probably under Kuzan.
Who's on? Yeah.
I think he missed him. I don't see him, but I might.
Well, he definitely did lose it.
He definitely
He
did.
for
He
sure.
did.
Yeah.
He definitely did. So I'm counting that. Even I don't see it here. He might have it. I
Maybe
rewrote it
because
down.
it wasn't shown. Maybe it wasn't shown in the manga, but we saw it.
Canonically.
Yeah.
I thought it was, but you might be right. Anyway, I'm gonna count it.
Well, I am right, but I don't think there was ever a moment that it was talked about in the manga, but it's totally canon. So
Yeah. It is.
I
not saying
accept
Film
it.
Z is, but the fact that he's missing a leg is totally canon.
Wait, who? Steve.
But no, he just.
No, that was me.
Oh,
Roger, I think.
Okay. Did anybody say Zoro yet?
No, but I'll count
Okay.
that.
Zoro, I. Yeah.
Wait, Steve, what did you say?
I said Kuzan.
Okay.
Kiji.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. Ed.
Big kid.
Zeph, leg.
Yeah. Alex.
We say kid yet?
Nope.
There we go.
Where the hell? There he is. Steven.
Shiki. I don't know. That's all.
No.
Oh yeah.
I mean, is that?
Yeah.
Sure, of course.
Okay.
Man. Yeah, of course.
It's-
Yeah.
He's a real character. He was in the
Sengoku
manga. Come on.
Yeah.
Sengoku mentions that's how he got out of
Oh
prison.
yeah, you're right. And in the manga.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, cool. That was Steven, right? Steve.
Mhm.
Oh, oof. I'm gonna pull this one. I was gonna save this one, but Farafra.
Wow,
Falafel.
perfect.
Nice. He lost a big old shoulder.
Yeah,
Roger.
Oh,
Shoulder meat.
man. Okay.
There's so
Well,
many.
this is
left.
very timely. Actually, we don't know if it was lost or what happened to it, but Queen has a mechanical arm.
I said up through Whole Cake Island.
Oh, but that's oh really? Okay.
Wait, that's just Rosa.
yeah.
Queen.
No, Queen.
No, Queen.
Queen. No, Queen.
Oh, I thought you said Queen, and I'm like, I haven't thought about that character in a
Oh,
while.
no.
So
No.
I was about to trust you.
I'll let you get another stab at it.
Parasparrow? Did anybody say Parasparrow?
Someone
I
did.
did.
So you double
Hey.
stabbed wrong.
Law, Parasparrow, Shanks, Nekomamushi,
We
Inuarashi,
said all of those.
All of
Pedro, Tamago, Crocodile,
Ed.
Zoro- I don't know.
I think you're out, Roger.
Yeah,
I'm
Roger.
out.
Gecko Moria at the Battle of Marineford.
Oh, he lost. First off, that would be during Wano that we found that out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did he lose his actual arm?
All
I don't have
Wait,
that
what?
here.
right, Little Loris Jr. then.
No, that's not how that works, Ed.
Come on.
Alex.
Well, I'll say Little Oris Jr. then.
Perfect. Okay.
There you go.
Damn
There
it.
you go.
Steven.
Hmm. Hmm.
3
No.
seconds. Nope.
Yeah.
Steve, to stay in the game, you need to get this. Otherwise, Alex wins.
Jozu, an arm.
Yep.
Nice.
Where
That
is
was
he?
my
Good.
backup.
There he is. Alex.
Hmm.
It's a lot left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's see here. Oh, Morgan.
Yep. He has an axe for a hand and a hand for an axe.
All right.
Steve.
Do they have to still be alive?
No.
Okay. Does Ace count because he lost guts?
He does.
Nice. Nice.
Good
Nice.
pull. Alex.
Okay,
Never
then.
too soon for a correct answer.
Well, if we're gonna go by that, then I'm gonna say Frankie.
Yep. Steve.
Ooh. Huh.
It's getting
Man, I
interesting.
wanted to-
I'll say that.
There's a really
I-
obvious one too.
There's
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
want-
really obvious
Yeah,
ones.
there's a big
Yeah.
obvious one I just thought of.
There was one I wanted to save, but I got to use it. Chopper, Antler.
Yep.
Oh,
Alex.
that's good.
That is a good one. Oh, well, in that case, I'll say Magellan.
Magellan lose.
What did Magellan lose? Yeah, I don't-
Motherfucker lost a horn also.
All right. I mean, I don't have that. Does anyone, Steven or anyone
Wait,
else?
didn't he
remember?
take his horns off? Or am
That's what I
making-
thought. Oh, is that someone else who had hair under their horns? I'm trying to remember that.
You go
page,
at the
cover page.
decks around the world.
Yeah.
Post time skip.
I'm looking it up. No, Dex, because it's not here.
Yeah, it does kind of look like he's lost something. I see what you mean, but
Ed, what do you think? You could be the judge here. Judge
yeah, he has
Faster.
scars on the left side of his face, and it looks like his left wing and horn are broken.
Okay, I'll
Replace-
give it to you.
Placed
I'll
with
give it
metal.
to you.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
and he lost a wing too, actually.
Okay. Oh yeah. I do remember that actually now. Steve.
Is it something that we've had to have seen in the manga, or is it just implied?
Implied is allowed,
Okay.
but heavily implied.
Absalom, his jaw, or the lower half of his face.
Ooh.
Yeah, he showed it to
I'm-
Moria, right?
I'm gonna count. I'll count that.
Okay.
It wasn't here, but I'll count it. Alex.
Oh my god, I just had one. Oh god, one sec. Oh, shit. Fuck. God damn it. I
3
just had
seconds.
one. Monet?
Yeah. Steve.
I'm gonna say Eneru and his bilkin wings.
Hey, that's
Does that ever come up? Do we know?
I feel like it was, but can't say for sure. But obviously,
'Cause
he
I don't
grew up on
have
a sky
that.
island.
Yeah,
He
but
grew up on a sky island.
and he has those
He
drums
should
on
have
his back.
wings. Yeah.
But that is super. That you're taking a huge fucking leap there, Steve. What about this, Alex? Can you name one more?
I can. You have to give me like a second just because I
Or
had
here,
one.
what about Steve? Can you name one more in addition to that?
Oh, jeez, you just totally.
Because that's
Caught me
not
off guard
that's
there.
not sorry, you're not because that's not here and it's kind of iffy, but I don't want to count that. I don't think that's enough to count you wrong.
Oh, actually, I do have one.
So give it to Steve. you name first.
I'm thrown off what's going on here.
Steve,
so
name one.
Mine didn't count.
It didn't count, but it didn't. No,
it doesn't. Like, there's. We never knew that he had wings in the first place.
Yeah. Now, with all this time that we've used to stall, can you name someone who has lost a limb? Or body part?
Shit. Oh, God, man.
3 seconds.
God, yeah. I think I gotta fold here.
Alex, do you have one?
Yeah, I've got 2. Sarume?
Oh, is that
You lost a tentacle, right?
That's right.
Oh yeah.
And the other one I was thinking of was Gotti.
Sarume's the Kraken. Yeah, I don't know. He wrote Kraken. Gotti, you are correct.
So
there,
you
too.
forgot Kyros.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that one. Here's some big ones.
You said Ace. I was like Whitebeard.
Here's some really big ones. Roger lost his head. Not you, Roger.
Hey.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Whitebeard lost his fucking face. Yeah.
Buggy has lost everything constantly.
Did anyone
Kashiga.
say Fujitora?
Well, they were never lost.
Fujitora lost his eyes.
Oh man.
Who's Kashigami?
That's the snake.
He lost his head. Oh, and we saw that Nolan lost his head in a different way.
Yeah. Kumo's lost a bunch of body parts.
Brooke lost all of his body parts.
Oh, yeah?
Yo ho
Good
ho.
one, yeah.
Kuma lost, as we know, many, to refill them with other things, I assume. Whitebeard lost half his face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gyro lost his arm and put in a claw. The Punk Hazard Dragon lost his head.
You could have been half crab person.
Crab person. Punk Hazard Dragon lost his head. Kinemon was thrown all over the place. Brownbeard lost his bottom half.
Oh God.
Tashigi, what does it say here? Tashigi lost her lower body?
Oh, during Punk Hazard.
She did? I forgot about that then. Smoker, too, lost his heart. Virgo, we know what happened to Virgo.
All right, everyone that's like come into contact with law.
Buffalo, Baby 5, and then there's Caesar for the same reason, the heart.
Yeah.
Kyros, we mentioned Treble for the same reason. King Baum. How did you guys forget Steven?
Oh, King Baum. That's right. I forgot.
And that's it. Yeah. King Baum is a big one.
He's a tree.
He counts more than the rest of us. Anyway,
He's
that's
a fucking tree.
That's the One Piece podcast for you, everyone. We will be back next week with our magazine recap for the 5th volume of the magazine with Steven, God willing, everything working out.
Yeah.
We'll see you then. My name is Zach.
My name is Ed.
My name is Steve.
And my name's Alex.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye and good night.
Bye-bye.
You could say about Alpaca Man, he's the Emperor's new Stooge.
Oh my God.
Nice. That was good.
Also, is Alpaca Man related to Pac-Man? No? Okay. He says, it was a real
Please, Alpaca Man is my father. What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty alpaca.